Well, but have a kwaba live or live okay 101.7 FM. So now your partner radio stations our mother room yena ye de jasu you made ye de ebremono. Your friend me Vim Lady if you pokua enti me ma kwaba na chese di more din na good evening me de ma wo baby I will join ye bi and I will join our High Life Radio DC Virginia Maryland Baltimore. Ebi so ana will join e wo Migacho FM kukrentu me and I will join our Danfopa Media or Paris. And maybe I will join you another place to say NASFA Radio Kuku Spencer and the team so Ewo UK approach memo yeah that's Kings Jersey Radio and so fire live Ewo New Jersey Ewo approach memo yeah that's baby our live so okay FM online platform so okay 101.7 FM oko Facebook okay or oko YouTuber okay Ewo say and your live so Abeka Junction Ship House I dey jumede na bro you from me Vim Lady if you pokua nene said I started a critical analysis about the elections. I hear Ghana and so critical analysis. How you food soldier and now you floating voter and a swing voter. Wow, when you beba who so who say near me here Ghana. When I was here, we are Ghanaian near maybe on my was a who here. Any an a Professor Ketiana to Sanyum Nana. So more may we here Ghana mine a walla woody politicians in there. As Gashano ba ombedi. Omu yombeko ekane ya bogu me no ho say Ghana public debt ye chemu a me no mienu nyino bia betua 100 Ghana public debt ekane da o man Ghana so nyama amade o ekane onya na nado de o President Kufuor call retirement was o chile o tipeduase o enjoy pa in fact President Kufuor enjoy che obi amahu no edusa no poko di breakfast a peduase valley ahwan ye hotel ye ho no kodidi only problem wa bobra Senior President Kwan Obedi ya President Kufuor you be our bobra astute lawyer. Our BBN companies, landing trained lawyer. Enti ekano any President Kufuor chin position kabonzi ye teteno kapre. Menewu eni yebetua. Onu po de President Kufuor de body so obo aye ma ye de ko hipik ma ye de kache. No omo ma bebo kani bi egum record ekano nya de $1 ebedu omachi 1 CD 1 kobo endi omachi menewu. Ye che Ghana almost 600 million Ghana cedis. Ye cha minu mi no bia betua 100 Ghana. One tria obaba betua obe ntua ne nana baba betua na ye de interest. E de bia Ghana interest de ko eche minu mi no nyina ba betua. Nti e hu hia se Ghana ene ma bi hu hia. Nti me ba betua some critical analysis of Ghana. Regions na me kire mo so mo na ye swing regions a omu determine de e be koso no. Regions, Western region, Central region, Greater Accra region, any other regions. Region be on my okata when you call him some beto NDC, beto MPP, Volta, beto NDC, Ashanti region, beto MPP. Those are not swing regions. They are swing regions and are floating regions. And the last week, Monday, you can want some any the aquacosi. And then me babe show the ma a year friends saying factions, factions. They say NDC way. The last time I'm checking, I have 5 factions. They were in this room. Say, voting as no more in this room. Because you almost in chain. Yeah, you almost in chain. NDC is now looking like a northern Akan party. Gadangbe for no more NDC. No more. They say, who can't Gadangbe with NDC? More a friend say, Obiti says some George din. But some George, yeah, 3rd, 4th generation cry. Or a 3rd, 4th generation of NDC. Those days are not Rollins was you can't gadang before no more NDC man. Itimates and no babo mudi. Okanja dama fi omuni ade. You mentioned their names. And then you can NDC pan leadership gadang before way. Even Anita do so money ade kwana was on my. Those days NDC near can who do you hear money ade a fancy caucus. So they had the Gadang before no were not like a major a force in NDC. Gadang before ni come under votarians that were NDC muno. But they had factions in NDC. So I'll come back and explain. No much MPP for to see their factions a womb. And yet the generation they about to Kufuor Kufuor ne Kufuor do you know? Kufuor de no Alan Chamatiko Shem Tiana Alan. Any a year first Kufuor do say serious factions. Asante for no. Even in crime for no, say in crime for na yet one of the foundations of MPP in crime. In crime for no, one of the key pillars of MPP. That rocha money at the end and crime for in our own MPP mo. And crime for after a friend saying, Papa Jasco, your friend said Professor Marco Quay. Professor Marco Quay free parliament. Even Professor Makokwe wo hon kana nkran for major nkran forces ahe and hu MPP major nkran forces ahe na hu MPP but the last Monday me bebo Canada Japan video mamu a all fire eyi Baumia so the response about so ndi obi atem ni supporter bia ma obi ndi obi atem internal politics on we dey tie na me beto eyi no so
what party President J. Kufo, any president and Akufo-Addo. Omo to take me. Enti mudi a flag bearer. Me di kabo beba. Omo manyina. Me di omo me ayejima. In fair five in fair yimo. Uya MPP me di obey yuma. This no me ye campaign no. Me pese ye wo nkabo kwa party. Ye campaign na ye internal election. Ye kasa ewo yesusu kasa ma yendi obia atem ye campaign ye ma ye kasantia nika because ye wie election ya gisa ye nyina ye kabo na ye kopre enji to me no emma NPP so my country me supporters enemy spokespersons nyina say obi didi matema mo kanutum mamo responding Yabosa election no yena yakampo enye election no me pese obi didi matemna na woso wako didi na prakra atem me penesa me penkampo obi didi matema yamfanesa yanko yankajre delegates dientia me pese obi vote mame sa dey here me
enti Dr. Baumiano no na wa be ma response I will say we there enya de wo so obi adidi obi atem na ninya because of asema hang on ninya because of asema I say ye friend Canada Japan be kan so obi di omo akọ opposition eno po de I don't think that Canada Japan di obi atem it was a fair comment so when I am chairman of economic management team and is a team na failure then who are chairman of economic management team just serious answers what so to me the team no and that's on the basis na Canada Japan and they can't ask but here unim say any abema Kofi Kranten here one of those people and Kofi Akase ye third forces and come betimi ababebo Ghana in fact Monday program no one of the floating voters obaye ama o can send be say NDC ni MPP supporters die hard for no kwaka na Ghana enye ye no that was her opinion and nem ni nyina o kan kwakoti say nkomo mo mani da ho a enke be ma NDC ni MPP for sebi ebru sebi predators o mu njimi Ghana bebre na so wo mo no omienu nyina GS Gracians omienu ba no ma be pretend say wom de be Ghana iye nti ama Ghana has some sort of duopoly by default but America for the UK for no omunya two political party system no omo ko omo build your foundations ewie yaso so de enyam build your foundations unwie so ya say ye de NDC ni MPP a na omo dada ye so omienu nyina hwe Vim omo de pass LGBTQ+ law but they cannot apply the same Vim. No matter me akase enya law ne eyi esgashen figure na law mu. They cannot. They don't have the political will. E do esgasha pe ne ka ho asempe da bi. Wo be ne ho de o mayira, o mu ma parliament kra. But e do si enfa Vim pass LGBT de o mbeye. Ye fa the same ahode pass sa law no. Na sika anke ye de ye esgasha 4 years bia na ye de akwa kotwetua no. Mom ye fa say even one factory one region. What every 4 years bia esgasha sika no. 4 years bia na nke aboabo no ne ye de akosi region we 4 years bia nke Ghana ye started 30 years you can imagine the number of factories ye see what regions every 4 years bia out there ne aboabo esgashes kana ne ye de see factory back or one region 4 years ye de see factory back or one we there every 4 years bia ye susu a ne ye de akwakotua nkofo papa no esgasha meanwhile these are the same people ye mo car free ye mo petrol free does it even make sense? Does it make sense? In this day and age, Singapore for Qatar for Dubai for building the foundations of their nation. Yeah, seek now building the foundations of Esgasha from Kofo Papa Numbotum. Na boys and girls, a Juma cross sweeping, a pra, Ukwa brochira, or Nkola crab, Makwai High School, Munya Juma Kakra. Why you cock pra store cra, Ubenya Kakra, Ubedi? Why are we doing this to ourselves? This is what Kofi Kranten and or Singapore no do and after shocking or say, hey, say Singapore say yes. Hey, now be cafe. Ghana no Singapore no. Ghana ni omunyina start abrabo baby omadu. Singapore. And yet Ghana phobia ye ho say they die hard. Ye de okay party asema ye ntie. What do you space no kakra? Nakasa odi me party ni NDC, me party ni MPP. But my main check is the omu ye. Can we just amend your policy? Can we do something? Yeah, just saglami de bia me de saglami ya asem. Besi ne ye de saglami ya asem wa ye kan. Next week may housing a project. Yeah, de saglami ya asem wa ye kan. But nobody is questioning what then ye this gama obi awadi. Yeah, they are done politics. NDC and MPP, they get away with it. They get away with it. Na Ghana for that bontino munya baby na. See that Ghana for saglemi cost should not be the cost. A car boss saglemi hono say obi a quarter of that money by yet saglemi the same saglemi project and some comfort this Canada. Ye cheers kanama contractor no cry no. Now on ye adwuma ne asande be a so ni nyina adwuma na hyagu enso egu ho ye de NDC MPP politics. Baby anokra wono ye mfanto and na Professor Okoye a oka no. Say Ghana ye enye ye dis ye decide say beka no kre. Ye beka no kre. Say NDC na ye na let's say MPP na ye na let's say it. Saglemi project MPP for your bonnet say on my on a project a good area na boyeka. But NDC what project in Quebec in cost to be $1 million. Who inflate here because of 10% and budget. When inflate figure na job pay a shit canegu. Who can shut down your mercy si wo my my prisoners in po be so better Saglemi. A die who be a toilet no crowd kitty be. Yeah, quiet him no build modern houses. When him say workers, it is Hanuka to all. Now work at the car. When him saw yes to sukra no the snake kakra be collateral cra. Obenya dan or chana ne ne mabenya baby but a bronti. What inflated figure no? What's so I could see 90 cent kukobuo. What meanwhile more politicians now more da vono mattress more da bungalows akesiem. But my cock was seen down fia the amount of Moko approach them the moon see that way be all. Moon see down say oh. And then I will be a toilet to cry. Just watching once and a toilet to door. But that is the Saglemi project. Meanwhile, say a Saglemi noir. We don't even tell the details to people. And also, you see that a Danaka room, a Yadanaka room. You can't see a ton down. Says, I'll be on top. I don't go for sign home. Because even the unit cost of Saglemi a dino is more than 250,000. More than 250,000 Ghana cedis. Ghana for send a Benes cattle. Over 2.5 billion for the Tadino. Fiana, toilet to cry a BISA. No crazy or honor was here. It's not just about say a man then a room. But the other rooms, they say, I buy this car account near Dana. Why quarter? Because any value for money. Your boss at Glemmy born it, our own GSS canoe. It's the man real estate company, we said, Great and I just about so. I want to so just a man a boca, a canoe and a menel gun a baby a betriano. Meanwhile, instead of looking at the issues dispassionately, we're doing politics with it again. We're doing politics with it. It's here any Abema Kofi Quarantine.
For Kofi Quarantine, Mene Andrews, my personal guide. Or the mere Singapore, now what share me and you may what Singapore has. I say it here, maybe you're Dimian for the last 3 hours, you know. Said yeah, and you may see for Efa, I was Singapore, yeah, to Singapore. And so this is on a personal level, personal perspective, or yeah, a certified tour guide. And now, the high and the say, on farming around one shremi, said the Singapore, Fuankasa, and level. Inti, maybe this on one perspective. Andres, I really want to thank you from all the people in Ghana. We thank you. But I really wanted to ask you if you had to give one advice to maybe the leadership of Ghana, of a country, to build a model city, a model country like Singapore that takes care of its people, that brings value to their people, what would be the lesson be? What would be the advice? One or two things that you would say should be that which the government or the leadership needs to focus on. What will it be?
Very good.
Now, I think you need to. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so,
I wish.
No,
Yeah.
leave the.
Okay. I wish that whatever or whoever government allow us to dream. Don't stop our dream. All right. Please allow us to dream. Create a platform for us to chase after our dream. And then the other thing is that's very important coming from a government point of view is that you have to listen to understand us.
So the government has to listen to the people.
Correct, yes. And I always believe that do it from the heart. And trust me,
the people or the government?
The government, all right? And also, we need the people and the government to do a heart-to-heart communications. And trust me, when all these things come together, it's going to be a happy ending. This is exactly what happened to my lovely country, Singapore.
Thank you very much. Mind you, onim ni pa me ye, onim de me ye. Nti we onim bibia we from say or a common person bia we share no de na ekoto. Nti thank you so much, Mr. Andrew.
Thank you.
For the 3 hours you spent with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enti Kofi Kranten no abrantia no kra nim ni nipa ban e na o kire no mu no Singapore no you see and he makes some key point be or say allow your people to dream. Allow your people to dream. Now, network kra bi ni Ghana na people no be there no ma dreaming. The people even want to set up a proper business on their own and the online marketing ebu baby internet kra ni bi. Listen to understand. Okay. Your governments no more ban. Do they listen to understand? Fire coins. Nim say ye ba 20 one their course right sign off no. Ye 100 Ghana for the decode ye. Nim format no. See na me catch am say o fa internet now yes o be di politicians at am. Decode na se chen na o politician. Na dey atem didie ba ye. Na dey atem didie ba if you don't know. Before cry ye be wo na go for di atem chen share. And did they know the code? Listen to understand. Do they listen to understand? Open say, yeah, they are panning 100 Ghana t-shirts. Rather. And they do it for us. When we are my GS gasha, no more, no broche, no more, no matter. Oh, bodyguard, no, I bet ya. Ni security man, no, I bet ya. Ne maid, no, I bet ya. What I say, ne boy, no, I bet ya. Entertainment allowance, no, I bet ya. Clothing allowance, no, I bet ya. What's the one will be a John? One John. Hey. They are dealing with that. The people have decoded us. They have decoded us. And I remember when you join them, Ghana no. Obia a stakeholder. Memo obian fa atem didie nka wanu ntum. Ghana no. Obi di attempted na nka vim atem didie kum obi asenka memewu. Apu. Mom di atem wa fire. Speak your mind. It is your own bloody mind. Speak it. Obian pekra speak it. I go for kind of media for some kind of media for no cry or menum and I will no cry or speak your own truth. Oh, problem was speaking truth. I'm my own employ me. I speak my own bloody truth from my brain. And you would dear, into speak what dear. Now, Mr. speaking media. And Obia did you be at a man one to speak who truth. Media for wherever is a broaching I told media for America. CNN ni BBC woman no man line or moho. Fox or man line or moho. Until when the media is corrupt, who do you expect to speak the truth for you? Now that the media don't speak truth, are you not hearing the truth for yourself? Are you not seeing the truth for yourself? Fire out there and take a decision that will affect you. After all, could not ballot paper no one and a ballot box no one. And you won't out general, your media. Vim in your comes the vaca in your Captain Smart in your to be confined what fireman, you'll be on fireman or fireman in fire. Speak for yourself. Let your cochromaty speak for you. Let your cochromaty speak for you. Elections let me show you this one. If I show you this region, this is the regional breakdown. This is the regional breakdown. You got to abandon where your parliamentary seat. But before that, no, yeah, got to abandon just a Ghana and NDC MPP. Omunina to abaye who said Omunina no. Person omoto abanoma abatono ekoso. NDC MPP said Omunina person omoto abano. Emma abatono ekoso. These are the seats, but me person me this picture back on too, so that you see mo party for na yedi o mochi na NDC ni MPP no. The regional breakdown no. No. This is the regional breakdown. Enti baby ahu blue no. MPP for 7 regions. They won in 7 regions. NDC we need 9 regions. But the total votes now won 9 regions no. And also that is why I make out so big kaka busano regions no. I ain't no deba. Memo bia na party bia Ghana ha e you kokromoti na be decide elections so floating voters so most of them go Accra. I mean you headline no crave on mahu ni floating voters so most of them omo wan crying. Most of them omo go Accra no until the chunk of your Ghana vote to Accra ni Kumasi 5.7 5.6 million census population council for the report by this is it. 5.7, 5.6. That's the total voter now. You voter or de buy total vote and de buy no. And if you are NDC, you can win 9 regions. So even this one, NDC we need Greater Accra region. NDC we need Greater Accra region. NDC won in Greater Accra region, but still, into you win. So what you win. Concentrating on the major areas now, I bet me abuano. Concentrate on those areas now, I bet me abuano. The same way if you go to the parliamentary level, you see it. Parliamentary level, no so sa. But look at the regional friends, distribution of the vote. Baby a vote no. It's the NDC person winning. NDC must capture some of these, including the no one. And some NDC nya, then NDC can say that obeti me nya total vote of 50% plus a single one. And yes, sir, distribution ya make sure NDC in 9 regions. MPP was 7, but because MPP nya Ashanti region, MPP and the dominated Ashanti region. Greater Accra region, MPP dominated in Greater Accra region, although they lost most of the seats, but the total volume size, you know, now region of funding in Aboma, MPP for more. And they are going. It's in America a party to say NDC. So person winning because NDC you know about with a surplus. NDC from the last election 2020, no NDC con they grew by 2.4%. NDC grew by 2.4% of the total vote. It is NDC person onye become one. NDC must make sure that there are some key areas in Ashanti region, Greater Accra region, increasing the vote. That is why as a wakobo be pass or be didn't go for them, you are doing yourself a disservice. NDC makasa amutie. NDC makasa. Na ya fa we so obi ndidi president kufu atem, obi ndidi despite atem, obi ndidi adonko atem, obi ndidi we atem. Nipa ba kono adonko ana despite ono nko a ofiri nkofo betwe oni na busuafo ne mane ade kwa bia be 30. Se ne busuafo ne wofa se 430. Ne wofa se for ni nua ma no wo mane ano. Itu lose side pana you have lost like 100 people. Does it make sense? So be attacking nipa we. Does it make sense? Se party from penny for se bokra mo nyamo munipa bi obi a o claim say you're related to you. They be our targeting some people no do matter. Don't you see say we am vote ana? Because just Ashanti region and Greater Accra region MP NDC across 50 plus 1. Because you already have a surplus. You already have a surplus from 2020 election. It will be kakra over crossing 50 plus 1. But mum and a munipa didn't comfort them and you are watching this person. Why? Kamunya kakra so 50 plus 1 oh cross it. Meanwhile, at the beginning now is just fueling die-hard party supporters. No, Udi atemo when the atemo they will vote for you 40%. Party for the 40%. So all you need is addition. So look at the distribution. Look at the distribution. You need concentration of total votes. You know what? Ashanti region, Greater Accra region, and the other regions, especially maybe to say Central region. The Central region, Nima was share off. And then Busa identity from Rollins time. Rollins kofa Accra as running mate. Meboa. Rollins kofa Accra as running mate. Oyi Accra free one kofa and Professor Mills. Wahu. Oyi Professor Mills if you want to mind this ban or moko no for Kakra. Kofa Mumuni. Asan NDC for free one of my President Mahama as Vice President. Asan President Mahama so far Professor Jenano Pokwadman. Central region is such a key region. You don't joke with that region. So our region in this election, Central region to my MPP. That's why Central region is blue no. Although total votes MPP for one Central region is blue because I'm to my MPP. You need Central region. Because the President Mahama was saying, and we don't cover Professor Jenano Pokwadman, but there is no research to show that Professor Jenano Pokwadman by or not increasing NDC vote for Central region. NDC needs to do that homework because someone then there will be no basis to say Mahama because second round no use to Professor Jenano Pokwadman because me I think say NDC Mahama can capture Central region vote. The people are what say Mahama you omo wadwuma. The people are also Mahama you omo wadwuma fanti kokoso mo NDC mu no. Me ne Mahama enka mekwa kofa akosi ahoy mu nua no. Onna nka mefa no as running mate. Because these are the parachikis of NDC. Ahoy for you cannot dismiss them. They control the fanti concourse. Sana ne yeka no. Caucus, but in Kofoya, you of a concourse. The fancy caucus, where are they? And then fast forward, you go to MPP, Gan caucus no here. after Peter Peter Lajete free mono any that rochamo time even that rochamo ye penny for sana Peter Lajete muba Jacobe Chebelamte Professor Makoko Emukoye no how many in cry for caucus even another one a cry free Greater Accra region has not been able to buy a increased vote in Greater Accra region. MPP for homework or what's on me. If you have key people in MPP like Lord Come cried, will be made madam for no, but me come make us on was because even Greater Accra region vote, you know, or high MPP for her, or high MPP because there's a perception that Lord Come in cryphobia hijack interest and was about Greater Accra region. How many guns are in MPP abam? I can't go for say achim asante for no kwa mafia and no, there's more than that. But Kasiana woman I want it all. President Kufuor time na ye Kufuor faction against President Kufuor faction and a Alanche Mate faction against a Kufuor faction as I said the other achim mafia against asante for no. Anything about me is tapping into Ashanti region the go who say asante for na ja achim mafia for na dada some mobile ma mo bia he meanwhile chunk of your vote come from there. And another the Asantefono have been very loyal to you, even with their vote. Those days, not comfortable work. Well, more be found Kobium. Asantefono say they had another one. They didn't see so we a chimney. Sister, you don't ever but Obayano. Watch your post now on your matching phone. No, we just Asantefono coins. I see a coins. And I dear mom. And Crafono cried, oh, just a jama, I record Tina. Yenya baby, I'm no more marking and Crafono cry and baby, I did momo. Is this a nation building? But ultimately, the most important thing they say, a damn fast one a Ghana for Enya. So be and Cranio, Obi Asantino, Obi and Fantino, Obi and Hayo, Yena Ghana for. The all cocosimo, the only cocosmo, the non aligned though. Everybody pays tax. Everybody pays tax. And with it, bra, nipani Ghanaian, they are entitled to development. Your job, you have an obligation. Say, check on mining resources, said the best will be also. Check on minor resources, said your baby will be also. You see, anything on a make catch NDC has the potential to win the next election. What you say? But NDC must do their homework from Keda for now, where you almost in chain, and the Keda for now when this moment to be catching me again for which other woman. And that was one of the key issues. And my Rollins fan base call for no. Rollins and call for now no more NDC. And that is the why factions are a problem in Africa. No. Because Africa, yen said yen sansu yechio. And to faction. Abroche for no more faction, they have systems. By faction, I say you're building around 1%. Say, Rollins in one of my Mahama. No. I quite say Mahama Yame were NDC. Say, Kufuor why so Yame were NDC. MPP. You don't build parties around personalities for Bibi and Kofo Bedi. Into Behena and Kofo no Mabedi and him no Bia Pekakro Bedi. Kakro Bia Bedi. Kakro Bia Bedi. Let me take you to the other regions. This is the parliamentary one. And you will see our parliament in the end also at here. I'm going to break it down parliament in the end. I'm going to also actually and Crawford said this is how it is. On my parliamentary breakdown. Our parliamentary breakdown also all that is it is. I'll come back to the parliamentary breakdown. Now when also said and also a Ghana politics. When it's sad. Said yeah politics. This is the regions. I will let you stay on and look at the other ones. But my mema wakwa baby just you made or live on OK 101.7 FM. Said the American yepo bia obe solve Ghana problems. Obe ma factories aba emranti ene ma be obi enya adwuma waye. Said about Ghana be fa into mapa efra na o man no asan yakọ nanim. Yenu abe ma Kofi quarantine wa ha no. One of the key questions and ye busa. One of the key questions ye busa. One of these days I'll come back and look at the history. People like Guzitando omo ade omo ba NDC mo. Any progressive alliance or all these things have not solved Ghana problem. The Dr. Beda someone NDC for B2 or Mufi NDC Muko joining other people. All these things they've not solved Ghana's problems. It will come back and look at all that. But then per se share some other issues are a bit me a boying nama or minor. It to me and one of the key issues and is the mafia network NDC MPP mono mafia no. Are they preventing Ghana from getting a third force at the boy? Prof, Mamma, good evening. Prof, Beba, Is it your left or your right? I think that would be your left or your right. Yeah, that's it.
This way, right? No, this way.
That's
Okay.
yeah. So that we'll capture you. Yeah, good. And Kofi Mama, good evening.
Mafia, Uchiao, Prof, Michiao, so Michie
Major.
na wanga wakayeng we are simu na Michiao, yading and Chiaka senior demo, Mafia that so say about you. So.
Yo, yeah, no, I say so. My mema or ya so because my say a woman made that form, me boy.
But you.
Yo, kafra pa we the enye
Why did you say Ghana for ITS and one focus in now for so. Me ma me de why ni dey nti only your man of the second say.
Yeah, uncle say uncle daddy,
Problem eda ye nim no na ye kese. Nti say focus ne ko eno so.
Okay. But Kofi mama prof so mama wa kwa ba na wo adjust ho nti akwa ba so prof.
Thank you, Major. So why?
Good, prof. Prof, I'm interested in your views on Asema and American, which is this in crime caucus no in NDC because minimum say ufi Greater Accra region. And Greater Accra region, given that they give us the largest vote, they have the largest population in Greater Accra region. Now I say, I say Greater region for no, yeah, shada nye NDC craba power crime say jama Vanderpoint. Any be a zito kanko later on yinifi you know, so you look at the regional representation and constitutional provision in the mind, but I'll come back to that. Mami Musao, this third force issue, is it true that there's a mafia in NDC and MPP preventing them from even using your vote to know wisely, Anna?
Well, if you let's say with human structures, anytime be power is shift, you would expect to say there's interest ever try say be hold on to power, especially because when for the last 32 years in the Fourth Republic, coming in next year, it's been a disservice to Ghana for. Indeed, they are holding on to this power because one can only imagine say obi bano beye inventory skeletons in the closet will be Yabana. MC Ghana now will be in a shock for the first term of the new administration. So yes, because you cannot understand why, for example, MPP in 6 years now have spent over $77.5 billion. What do you know? Sikana way. What
on what?
does
On what?
exactly? Then now what is Sikano? 77.5 billion, and yet it's big enough if it's cities. But to imagine said this amount of money has funneled through one administration in 6 years now, it's mind-boggling. So around the world now here, NDC for bragging rights. Oh, Mahama see Terminal 3. Obi Okasi Mahama see Terminal 3 and I say two kwang fi Ghana that. Indeed, that is what standard. Now I could do Hamad, and now I could do Shangi, and now I could do Pudong normally a day. Now we're one size of airports. That is say in Krua. Then say we've been shortchanged for maybe to say Terminal 3. Terminal 3 cannot be an airport. It cannot be classified as an international airport. What do you say? I mean, that's just
that. I don't need be granted. I say a bragging.
But see, I don't know before said progressively say if you want to say we could two, but say baby we are saying do nefia if you want to go two, if you want to 100, no I 10,000, no I 1,000,000. That is the availability of technology. It doesn't even have to be your technology. You could take from other people's technology and capitalize on it. Now, nyamia yandom yawo able to say more to say Professor Owe muna moshia de our friend say young human capital. But NDC and the MPP for him used to say human capital no. Emma because everywhere in the world, Prof. Oka say also I have from Notiho on Ghana. So if you where you from now to what won't take Ghana.
Me body appreciate that. Me body
But say I who ton kuya ma who ton. No. Listen, if you me jina Ghana na me no ka say ewie ya me koto gobe the time be me because I go food himself go feed your gobe economics asem uto gobe na 20 cedis ebe me kan na me to 10 cedis say 20 cedis no kra no enso uto beans 12 cedis no atokoko 8 cedis enso na kan no del no ton kokko no na me feel say be opema asem me kwa na me smile kire na ni ade nti me tokoko 5 cedis anu ama me 7 no ama me 8 nti me kwa na me smile say me kwa me man 10 cedis say me tokoko 8 ama me 7.5 say hey anya tam ketu nti Ghana ayedin ufa baabia wotin ka say Ghana owia kra entontom no kra work or in a different style.
What you say? I know there and then just say aban asem why you are adding NDC say almost can mafia chrono.
Debbie, nothing said. One said, the umbilical cord to MPP's existence, it's with NDC. Okay. And the umbilical cord to MPP's existence, it's with your friend. Inti, one now is a Siamese twins. So, now, nothing said, in every part of South Fourth Republic, the NDC and MPP have been together in parliament. Even though Bakwa opposition, Bakwa a ruling party, would now have been in parliament. Inti BBA also parliament, they have to be equally responsible for because anything you don't call parliament. Inti want to make us a MPP for gig. Inti NDC for can be relieved of it, and I say vice versa. NDC for gig, inti MPP for can be relieved because then the say the purpose of an opposition party is to hold the governing party in check. Are they doing that? And they haven't been doing that. But to your question, say one where mafia near maybe because what they've been the worst fiduciaries, and our parliament has been the worst parliament since Meme Baby. I say, any parliament in Ghana, yet so dysfunctional, said that. One can be a pro Ghana, one can be a pro youth.
Kofi, are you not being unfair? Because me person prof, are you not being unfair? Seriously, say, I hear them talking about it. Tax way so. Oh, yeah,
parrots. We want eagles who soar. Okay. So yes, there's a huge difference between a parrot who check. At the end of the day, no results. We are looking for eagles in parliament who will soar and elevate Ghana to a whole different global status. And on the area too.
Oh, yes, so some of privileges committee when you are equating them to power, say parliament here away.
Worrying, they are busy talking, they won't even hear me. What do I say? Hey, let's say BBI if you are results, inti semeboa and I will be a per se offer na mekana. Yeah, let's go back to the books. What do I say? America can be na what will show be. What I will say, my name is Prof. Obeka, I will say, let's go to the videotape, identity, because when you go to the videotape now, you can't lie. Let's go to the videotape. The videotape says, if you got a spoon, you've no near to my we're for baby, because Singapore in a housing district were over 50,000 people who live in the one housing development. If there is food in abundance, 24-hour supermarkets, and inhabitants. Now nipa the lowest level of one social order, nipa one see apartment buildings, just say one premobia nedu. Now, I interesting. Ghana. It be an impossibility. Say Ube will be a struggle on and kwan bibi ni hosa because enye acceptable in one society. What I say now they're more interesting they say wouldn't say when we aduan Singapore because assassination inti one for the bibia one fa aduan inti right next door Malaysia no what to nua inti what the Malaysia fu. What I say me kwai na was what the miracle Malaysia them say media ma bedu Singapore na no ayi me fi soro nkofem ufi form na akosoro. What I say but think about the concept. 24-hour supermarkets are will be over the lowest of one social order no o die pa or baby pa and from a pa no tono or go games or we just say prepare to give you a solid what policy say you cannot live more than 15 minutes away from a subway or be here to live your life. Clinic, park, water field, hospital, BBA should be 15 minutes. I don't want to see one community sling. I didn't know there be what was Shanghai? Shanghai, what friend then huge hubs. Airport right at baby airport, no bullet trains, no subway station. What
no, but to be fair, Ghana yeah no so pochona kosi akra ye train na start and now we say be ye adwuma. Adwuma.
Efia.
So pochona sakumono kosi your friends ba kroni dia so pochona kosi akra no.
Okay.
But I get you in this day and age, you know. Ghana ya koyedi.
Efia, the purpose of say you trains and yes say you trains keko. What you trains to take the load of vehicular access. So na cars ebu council ye be reduce. Na emissions renkostro. Na emma upper respiratory diseases. Na nipa ho beto prof me bo aka kire. Prof una oti abiti. What you say? Na say me no ka say asthma ne upper respiratory conditions akostro because pollution won't crank. And too high. Identity because obia kaka because you need public transportation system. The idea behind trains, and yes, what your trains say effect to send out okay echo 5 miles per hour. No, there be trains, metremu fee or friend Shanghai call Guangzhou 274 miles per hour bullet trains. 274. I couldn't believe it. What you say? Well, there's 400 of these trains. A big crowd could Tibet from Shanghai.
Tibet.
Tibet, mountains, one up boreholes, nam in Sasia were underground. What the deepest tunnels on earth in terms for trains. Media, Accra to Kumasi, we walk, Asase so, ye nam in Suso. You're to me for 20 years. I think
okay. Mami Musa prof. Me see a floating voters any mafia but I don't know about this Singapore story. No, meaning so why can't Ghana be in that level? Where they can America or any can you first say UK? This is your level. You know when start here. So why can't we get there?
Yeah. One thing with your democracy, right? If you look at the West, yet we have it the other way around. The West, when they started democracy, they were developed before they became democracies. But in our case, we are experimenting with democracy before development, and that is where the problem is. Because when say we won't develop here, but you are doing democracy, so people are going to put demands on the government, and don't forget state and society relationship in Africa. The society is stronger than the state itself. You know that. Galam said, the Air Force will say, which most say the society is resisting what the government is trying to do. So because we have everything twisted the other way around, there is so much pressure on the government to deliver. And the government does not have the resources. The little resources are here, we are mismanaging it. And these are some of the challenges because Malaysia and Singapore and those areas, no, the West, they were able to invest over there. Accepting democratic values, right? And because they accepted that, no, the scabebre to do the investment, and they were able to develop. But yeah, case, no, our society is resisting the state, right?
Society and resist the state, no.
That's the way it is, because if you look at the
example, can you say that maybe Henry Cote is an example of this resistance?
Absolutely.
No, you are
it is the relationship between the state and society. The state is not well developed, and a group of politicians have hijacked the state, and society is not benefiting. So society is pushing back. It's like these resources belong to all of us, and you people are stealing. So now we are also going to resist. And that is why we are not able to move forward, right? Because the society has not been developed for people to be independent. And it's like struggle for survival. Everybody is trying to do whatever the person behind. That's the way our system is structured. And we are not able to get the investment into our country. And don't forget, there's a history in African country in terms of what coup d'etats and revolutions. And even investors look at they're having a second thought because anything can happen. And I don't forget, even in Ghana, how many Ghanaians are prepared to enter into partnership? How many Ghanaians trust each other that they will come together and form a partnership to build a business? Then how much more you are thinking about millions of dollars to come to Ghana? And the lack of trust and the society is not developed very well. We are not able to develop the way we are supposed to develop.
Okay. Especially Obia Sandy says Gospel Solomon. See, Okoboy is an example of Prof. Asema Woken. Any recorded, the guy was trying to change Iledokuku Teshi, but they were battling with him. And by everyone, come back to Masamana, which is Mafia. No, Kofi Krante say true say NDC MPP and Mafia. Do you think there's Mafia? Because I don't know if you agree. Say Kofi conclusion is say NDC and MPP because of this mafiosco lifestyle. It will to me help you. You know, mama food soldier and the me intro no come say format no minim. Some bet 100 Ghana cedis and they are going with the format, and we are also going with the flow. And how do we deal with this mafia? But first and foremost, do you agree that there's a mafia? NDC, there's so many Mahama. So Mahama, MPP, and this mafia.
So mafia in India, it will be within their internal politics. In India, it's always like that. Even during Democrats or elections, we had a mafia that was resisting against Bernie Sanders. The mafia was in favor of what Hillary Clinton. And everywhere you go, that thing is there. But let me make sure. The country, then they were coming out with the idea of a third force, and the third force. And see, Akwaba could be our UK. And I'm a friend, and I'm catching the Amoye Munjai. It's not going to go anywhere. The reason being that you say, first of all, if you look at historically, from 1992 all the way to the 2000 election, our elections has always been on regional ethnic consideration. Right? Yeah. NDC for regions. You're talking about the voter region, Upper East, Upper West, and Northern regions. Those things belongs to them. And now if you come to the NPP, they have Ashanti and Eastern region. Then they all kind of say are those in between the floating regions. Now, if you say you are starting a third force, base
okay.
Where is your base? Because you should have a base, just like the NPP and the NDC have. You are only going to get floating voters. And also elections now, those minor parties, they've been getting some votes. Those votes are only coming from the floating voters.
Okay.
It's not actually coming from the where these two political parties. Right? It is not that way. And look at, even if you look at the United States, right? The Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicans have their states, the Texas, the Floridas, right? The North Carolinas. The Democrats also have their states, the New York, the California. So these things are always there. And if you are coming to be a third force, you are only going to get members within those you call what the purple states, right? Those who don't align other Democrats or do not align what? Republican. And to be precise, say,
the US also more floating voters in being floating states in the all.
Yeah, we are going to call the purple states. Those states that switch easily, right? Michigan and Pennsylvania, they can go Republican and can go Democrat. And to me, someone will say, okay, look at the whole of Africa, right? If you are not using ethnicity, you are using religion. Look at what recently happened in Nigeria, right? Nigeria could be an exception with the Labour Party. But what you say, the two political parties, either it is Hausa dominated, right? Or it is Southern dominated. And so this is the way our politics is. And to say, also, third force, where is your base?
Okay. But do you think that parties, they can do what Singapore is doing for Ghana now? Because they are Kofi said the two of them, they hope be him.
Yeah, who shared what the Japanese were able to do and what the Chinese were able to do? And he said they recognize almost to say they have a problem, right? And I said they have a lot of expertise outside the country, right? Like we have Africans in the diaspora, a lot of them. And so the way the Chinese and the Japanese did, almost to say they need to reform their system, right? And to things that has to do with the bureaucracy, like government ministries, government agencies, they were able to entice people in the diaspora to come in to manage those areas for them. They had to reach in some sort of agreement. Say, or Wall Street, he's an expert. You're trying to get probably like $20,000 a month. The government of Ghana cannot pay Kofi Kranti $20,000. And to enter into some sort of agreement with him, say, we know this is how much you are making. We know we need your expertise. Instead of $20,000, we are going to give you probably like $10,000. We are going to give you a house, and we are going to give you a free hand for you to reform our system. If you go to Washington, D.C., for example, there are over 20,000 Nigerian medical doctors in Washington, D.C. alone. In Washington, D.C. alone.
Prof.
20,000 Nigerian doctors in Washington, D.C. alone.
Ghana doctors,
We've not, because there are not a lot of Ghanaians over there. But anywhere you go in the hospitals, anywhere you go in the hospital in Washington, D.C., there are Nigerians everywhere.
Wow.
The point is, why are we not enticing them to come back throughout the whole of Africa? If they're already $10,000 a month, why don't you sit down with a person and have some sort of negotiation? Say, we cannot pay you what you are getting, but we are going to bring you back, like the way we did to Frimpong Boateng. Right? Lead these people to come back so that they come and manage your ministries, they come and manage your agencies for you. That is how you, because we need to reform our institutions.
Okay. Oh, Prof, I like that too, because what the Professor Frimpong Boateng, I regret it so about Ghana, because now he's saying so Mafia. So I regret it. Yeah, I regret it crash about Ghana. And me, I've been a key advocate, say diaspora for can really help Africa. And it's not even just about so mobile back. There's this Nigerian speaker or can't say, just let's bring 25% of Africa forward diaspora into Africa. 25% of their money, their revenue. Yes, some family Africa same to me fancy factories or baby. And even grow more people or train more people. Yeah, for music and no anywhere broaching him running from Messi factories here in your money. Yeah, but if you granted, they are not provoking. So I say there's a battle because citizens near the end. So I say you're necessarily a leader, but the thing is, for our person, yeah, the planet is all coffee granted. Singapore idea, yeah, would be Ghanaians will fight you. That's what Prof is saying.
Well, let me, if you and required to some extent, but this is the deal. Me call Lee Kuan Yew School of urban training. I would train on Crawford and what the one share public service. Yeah, then Crawford could be in Komo. Now, Bibia Singapore, look on you go through no. Yeah, you know, we are the cusp of sa slew, sa offending spectrum of problems. Then a look on you, yeah, he put his foot down. So into that prof can inquiry. But if you don't get a leader or not realize, say, listen, I'm in the crosshairs. As I said, me put my foot down. Yes, sir, my country is going to perish. NDC and MPP are not willing to take that bold step because they benefit from the chaos. Prof, they benefit from the chaos. Okay, you know, one incentive BSS to say what go above and beyond the call of duty. No one makes a bold step. No, may committed say and non person me because Nanti I what sa fight team no and say we want to deliver our nation because if you listen, we can be bigger than Singapore, UAE, Japan. May I truly believe it. Makoya research. Nobody could tell me otherwise. Because
no, I think can't tell otherwise. Kofi, I think what he's saying is that Ghana for no will fight you yourself now. At the papa
that is not
with him.
If you coming into leadership, you cannot have an unrealistic expectation.
Okay.
I don't. Near Prof Rekano, it's unnecessary banning because we need people we take position for all their life and why you're comfortable with it. Now, listen, people do not change based on what is right or wrong. People make decisions based on what supports their value systems. If what if him now support one value system, sana what behave no obeying, moving them away from Fino, they will fight you because a support one. And about right or wrong, about what supports them. In America, check prof and say, yeah, you'll be a OC above. Obeka say, more fight me say, really, Murphy film. And me end unemployment. Into see build industries, build young horizontal infrastructure. Not yet being your factories. Now yet to me absorb young domestic markets. Near start exports. Near money foreign exchange reserves. Now be fight me. Who did he say would fight me into major? I don't care. Me ye never the value now na mo be appreciate. Say Kwame Nkrumah only on obvious ye Kwame Nkrumah wow when you leave on you and start you on it beboana. Inti obi ni ho no man wo hu ne work. Inti men of men I don't care say obi hu ne work say. That's not what I fight. Near SSL what ye no SSL me ye.
Okay.
That's all I want. Ghana will come to appreciate me 20, 30 years from now. Say me ni ho na me kona if you will be who say ye say no be no nkoreboa yen. Intino yanga me ya dig yen ho inside downward spiral no na ye degenerate yanga dre to a point to say ye hu papa.
Okay.
And yes citizens ne fault. A constant assault of failed leadership.
Okay.
And I want to dig into such degenerative state, Until you cannot blame Ghana for thinking the way they do. And yet the fault of leadership and the younger response to young failed environments. It is what is our dynamic, and I say, what you say, but you need people.
No, I want to make a point. Who said on no okay about Malaysia and Singapore? No, they don't have these ethnic divisions. They don't have that. What you say? Even let's take Kwame Nkrumah for example.
They don't have tribal groups or how man.
No, they don't have those things. Everything is rallied. Who shared Kwame Nkrumah? Kwame Nkrumah was different. Kwame Nkrumah didn't have a base because he lived in the US before he went to the UK. So he, as a person, he did not have a base. But those that he came to work with, they have bases. They were coming from different regions.
Yeah.
So Kwame Nkrumah was able to use development to rally the people around. He used only development. But they are using developmental preferences for different regions. I have to develop this particular region because of this. I have to give this to because of this. So these are what are creating the problems, right? Kwame Nkrumah was different because, let me give you a very, very good example. Look at Ken Ofori-Atta. Ken Ofori-Atta doesn't have a base, right? He is just a finance person. He has not contested for an election before. So when he's taking decisions, he is taking decisions that are in his interest. Assuming that he is a member of parliament, at the same time, a minister of finance, do you think he will be acting the way he's acting? Because
one argument, it is not falling flat because who the Nkrumah example. Nkrumah by no only base, he said your coffee quarantine if he a brochure, Wakosia, they was a moment na brochure. Me me Nkrumah be Juma or Ghana. Sana Nkrumah so yeah. So if Nkrumah has been able to do without the base, but have the still be base, and then coffee quarantine so you so a man say we can no longer continue using our vote for these two parties. Let's do something different here in Ghana.
Prof, 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 the concept of base, a fluid and yet permanent. It moves with culture and people and time and experiences. And I'll prove it to you.
Are you sure?
Prof, absolutely.
We will discuss it based on the election that we've had since 1996.
Yeah, Prof Rekasa, if you Osi, yet politics are hinged on tribalism and religion. Mamincho Natia, that is. In a society where there are no systems and laws and regulations, culture and religion takes precedence. America were very cultural, but laws were systems were interna. It keeps them in line. Just like with China, we are more cultural than any society I know. But systems in America, say you leaders fail in their duty to say what construct young systems an expectation that it becomes a code for living our lives the closest to order to young culture and young religion. Say systems people would defect from religion and culture because systems are backed by law. Why are punishable? You have to understand you see problem I make say Ghana and in phone is how they think and they say one problem not from that perspective of yes a culture and Prof we are right but anything I young say NDC and the MPP for power because open ma won sa power no. Nipa na ama won sa power no. When power bia, if you think about it, one base I would say a base na ama one base. It's because the people have one containerized one in such segments until they call it a base. The moment I won't need to change. Now one expectations change, such segments shifts. They don't have a base. Many duty is said, who say they have better options than Niawangenya from NDC and MPP for the last 32 years. In an attempt to shift that base, which becomes Niayedibaba Ghana food as a whole. Now,
Empire said, concern is say, who base, any third force now, Makanin, wouldn't animal why I'm base and any floating voters.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. See, what can say where you prefer base pair? Now, you are buying to the prejudice. And your base.
No, but that is the reality. That is the reality. The reality is that
a reality to you, and that's your consciousness, and that's how you function. Because
if you look at the numbers, they are made to
numbers now, as you know, numbers of the past,
green and blue, which is that Ghana is split into two.
I understand, but what's it? Past performance, it's not indicative of future outcomes.
Yes, but what has changed from graph near the two, or what has changed?
And America say people's needs are one concerns, the one aspirations as a we have the biggest chunk of the population being the youth, who are not being served by this impotent leaders. Yeah, they're not serving them. Into one needs a sanity, they're not going to remain to be OB based view. One expectations as a into what shift one position. You're not going to see them as a base view. And also, na NDC and MPP, why are threatened by the third force? What the third force now? They panic. What more on third force will be as a no one do one lemu, no one party. Some no one ready about 2024. Because the NDC and MPP, one mafia way now because they are threatened by the concept of the third force because they are legitimate. Because if you are Onipano wasisa, what you say? There are 12.5 million people where youth say Wagana. One needs assessment, one aspirations assessment. Say want to me nada will view. One ko internet so one who near me possible we say. Into one catch any say at that age 24 years, it's not one apartment or no any TV to a bill. They don't have to deal with the nonsense of Satel Kosia. Wolf so for 2 minutes be an now per reconnection. That's what they want their government to do for them. And it's absolutely the way they should be thinking. Now they're going to hold people accountable. Say, if NDC and MPP cannot give me that, then man, shift. I better find me somebody who's going to give me that. And this is where it's going to change in 2024. I promise you. Just watch.
Okay, because remember, because I need to find out. So if you are so sure, but do you even have an idea of the number? Say Ghana, you can floating voters or do rejected ballot or and you have that data to say you can even like kind of harvest this number and work with it, because that's the proper point to say there should be at least some kind of base be out there. And yes,
we are compiling.
Both of them have
in a process.
40%. If you look at EC statistics now, NDC and MPP could have 40% of that without even coughing, without even campaigning. The phone provocacy. Santafua, MPP, or ya Chimnia, or MPP. At least majority of them now ascribe it. So ya Angrenia, or NDC, or ya Dangbedia, or NDC, or ya Northern, or NDC, or ya Gonjeni, Sisala, ni Upper West, Savannah, kind of slightly programmed for NDC Kakra. So they all have their 40%. In 2%, I'll see these two major people. You must come with some kind of base. And now we are in Chroma. You take somebody's base. So the Chroma UGCC for them. So
and I'm 100% in agreement. Me say I'm 100% in agreement with the concept. What you say? Inti na yenyeri and say young base no nereba be ye ni amobo friend base no eba be ye wonga ye ba be script or refi NDC for and the young one script one MPP for 1 year happy with the performance of NDC and MPP because him said and yet all NDC for and I yet all MPP for now in the midst of underperformance Wabaka say still because it what expectations in life. Until they're not going to say listen, there will always be about 15% of the population who remains to be boneheads. Granted. And here won't them. At some point, Rebecca say, listen, I didn't call you mum. As I said, Mrs. Son. One no worry about shift. And that's what we're talking about.
Is it not true that vote yes, Canada Japan you vote? Because a lot of people are saying that Canada Japan has taken your message of media independent thinking, independent mind.
Yeah, I mean,
that was your message. I remember that was your message.
But listen. If Obia bet me aba say ya yigina hey, Obeka se Kofi Cranton yere fa bibia wakada. Ne dia ye adwuma na Ghana tumponga. Why am I here? Me media ne se me pese Ghana yiye. Say Kennedy Pon obefa me message. Say Baumia no obefa me message. Say Alan Chairmanting, say Hina no obefa Mahama no obefa. No bema omang na yiye na Ghana fo adi ye no. Ye na ya ho beto yen. What you say? But one prove time and time again, say they don't have the mental capacity because after 32 years, one MPP mum and one NDC mum, I will claim say one who lights what call all this while no one who lights nana. It is to come and now make an argument. Say the man who lied, no, I'm not part of South Bunch now. Well, yeah, worthless view. I want to separate myself, and I want you guys to evaluate me on a totally different standard. You are a hypocrite. Because when you're a hypocrite, and who say when you what do you say? It you know, we need credibility be able to come out to say, oh, Kofi, say no, we need credibility. And say Ghana for wono watna brochiri and watna Ghana. No one nipa subang na obia on it. Miko New York first. There was a case, be a prof Obekai. Mofrebi will co rape girl be Obroni B was Central Park.
Central Park, yeah, Central Park 5.
Very good. What go rape one Oba could be the Ojiran Chen when rape won't be. Ojiran Chen or hen kind on one will rape or beyond. Or also what I didn't be adding tea because at least he had the moral he said, Nana body and so one stop one. What into more car rape gang and one could rape to be. Now Ojiran China must say, yeah, before, yeah, this before. We see no evil, we hear no evil, we say no evil. Into young getting involved. Then when we have ever on no Korea, no corrupt, no bankrupt system, no which they've done. Now, I say, hey, listen, we have something on you guys. So if you dare me, I'm going to come out and show you that red card. Come on, man. Who are hypocrites? You don't deserve.
Okay.
Me yes, some clarification. So me see. Me use the word base. I'm talking about from 1993 all the way to 2000 elections, right? These political parties historically relied on bases, right? Either historical experiences, development, or region, right? When we came to the 2000 elections, then we introduced new variables into the way the electorates behave. You are looking at mismanagement of the economy. John Kufuor's time, he's looking at mismanagement of the economy. Perception of what? Corruption, right? And provision of what? Welfare programs. But that means that as time went on, people are changing, right? The way they see things. But just still, those bases, it is there. Say, NDC say, the voter region belongs to me. The upper it belongs to me. This belongs to me. And NPP soon say, where should belong to me? Where should belong to me? But after 2000 election, people were now saying, okay, Rawlings didn't manage the economy very well, so I will not vote for Rawlings. I will vote for Kufuor. Then they were saying, okay, percent of corruption. Rawlings was very corrupt, so I will look at this thing. So as time went on, we are introducing new variables to explain the behavior of the elections.
Now,
so we'll get into that, right? And all the time, no, we say we don't have a system in Ghana, right? It's easy for me, very conveniently. The politicians have created the system for themselves, right? Fanny said, I was just told that you went to Addis College. I also went to Addis College, right? And think,
yes, sir.
You're funny, Japan, right? Look, it's semi right? We know the system is corrupt. Like Trump Biden, or say he's going to drain the swamp, right? That means the people in Accra are corrupt. But we all know that the definition of corruption is Canada, Japan. Because let's look at the situation. You are a member of parliament. You go to pass laws in parliament. At the same time, you become a beneficiary of the laws that you went to pass. How is that not corruption?
So why are you putting this on Canada, Japan law? So no about the constitution, no?
And Amikachi will say, these are the problems. He's saying that we don't have systems. I'm saying that we have systems, but the systems benefit a particular class of people, right? If it's not benefiting you, then you are going to complain. You are looking for a scholarship. You could call scholarship secretariat. You don't know a politician. You don't know anybody in power. You are not going to get it, right? But when they say, Obia ni papa ASA, no, and once you have phone, we have the CEO of scholarship secretariat. Their money banning scholarship. That person, or who say there's a system that benefits him or her. Who are only network, only connection. You say the system is not working. It's not working because you do not have the power to extract benefit for yourself. So there is a system in place. except that the system does not benefit majority of the people. Who can what ex gratia, right? There is a system which is known as ex gratia, which benefits a particular group of people, but it doesn't benefit me and you. So when you say there's no system, there's no system.
We have a system.
Exactly. The system is corrupt and benefits a group of people.
Okay. And are you also subscribing to the Uncle for sending message or third force the to me banner? Because I don't know Kofi Grant is a third force can come because we need to break the duopoly of NDC and MPP. Because here to me now they be a casa Ghana. Because this
and I make a choice. Give us example. My example historically, apart from let's say in Africa, apart from what's happening recently in Nigeria, give us historical antecedents where you've had a third party come in to take power from the two dominant parties who have bases. Right?
Okay.
Can you give us example? They can get the floating voters, right? Those who are looking at corruption.
And Patrick Asante, I see you. I'll come to you, Patrick. But Prof, that it means a being seed that Africa, there's no history. Set third force be to me a bentiantana wana, yantana wabra, yet Dubai for Kojayan, Qatar for Kojayan, Singapore for Kojayan, Malaysia for Kojayan, now say, or Singapore for the one my year for Muduikra. To me, abe Omukojayan. So,
and make a choice. Third force, no, they should tell us how they are going to do it. Right? No, I'm Muslim would third force ever. No, because so what I was saying.
Break it, just end this in MPP now.
No, I want them to break it. I want there to be a third force, but they should tell us how they are going to do it. Look at the advanced democracies, right? In the United States, in the UK.
But Ghana is not an advanced democracy. And
that makes our situation even worse because we are beholden to religion and ethnicity. Recently, the by-election are saying no, and Kumewu, there are some people who said the MCBI or not the MPP won. Even if the NDC is that bad, he or she is going to vote for the MPP or NDC. So more West because everything is based on reason. If you come to the West, it's all based on rationality and issues. But the base where we started from is based on ethnicity.
Yeah, but then I mean, listen, ethnicity, Prof, to you, and I'm 100% in agreement with you, but it gets to a point wow, who say Bibi and
absolutely.
Now, the reason why I believe the scales are gonna tilt this time is that we have 66% plus of the youth to say most of the people now anka womu hold this base now wokano womu are migrating into elderly classification into the youth not necessarily abeye creme de la creme the foundation but so what do we hear Prof, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, there will always be a segment of the population, regardless of their Kosubiano, they have taken a stand, and that's who they're going to vote for.
Absolutely.
The argument I am making, and I want you to understand, is that because of the demographics now, as a sanintino, that segment now a year for one a vote based on values, based on needs, based on aspirations, it's ballooning. It's ballooning. Because woman, so you don't, this idea said somehow you have to have a solid base and stand where we need election. It's a thing of the past. They say Obia or cause you Obi to win, or you're fluid to the point to say Obi to be able to and for NDC, no, China will vote to Amakufi Kranti. That's what I want you to understand.
Sure, I agree with you. There's a possibility, but what I'm saying is that give us historical antecedents.
Yeah, but everything that we do, because historical, no, you're making an assumption. Say Akwana and Newedi 19, no, now they had needs 10 years ago, but that's not true because 10 years ago, no, now Otifie,
Onim
a
de koso.
teenager.
No, but
Ah,
if you're
so
recently, who here open section, you go ahead.
Prof,
You are
the
saying,
main
say,
say needs na change. When the needs change now, the parties now they had their thumbs on the people. No, a bit change it because one would needs as a son, and as I say, no, the new voter of today, no, they're not pressed by set my allegiance to party. Their pressing point, and then they say, is the party going to do for me what I want? So if you're going to do what I want now, then I would vote for you. If you're not going to do what I want now, I will not vote for you. And it doesn't matter if I'm.
I think I know a prof ne so your argument to say. Onyini say Ghana for net drew that level. At the end of the day, getting to the election,
Surprised.
people vote based on of Chrome or me papa for, and they come back and come and cry. And now they be I have problems with the voters, and I always fight with them on air about it. Say, Massa, one amuko dina ballot box no na matuaba. Then you come back on our elections and a journalist one amuka. You go and stand there, you cast your vote. Wouldn't him say wa kwa nye pan? The example and a prof they may. I say no for ne kumawudi. They know. Say omo kwanye, but they will still collect 100 Ghana cedis and go and vote. Oh, we are quite no man biwa. Now for mass send message ba. How do we have electorate? Yeah, to the extent we are ready to vote based on Ghana yo. Ghana and not ye chrome and not about me a Muslim, medium ye Christian, and I medium ye Muslim, and you can Japan or ye Christian in Timpano. Are we ready to put our vote for the development of Ghana?
Mamima, a very good example. We are open monologue, no, my examples of like the guns, the Jacob Bechebelam Musani, right? So back in the days, no, now when they were there, then Professor Mills brought these young guys in the NDC, the Kudata Black Whites and all those guys, right? Then what? The NPP also, what? Kufado came there, Sensu Boachis and all those things. How different those that came later, are they better than those that were dealing in the past? The young ones that we are dealing with compared to the older ones, are the young ones better than the older ones? I can tell you, sir, right now, the younger ones who have taken position, they are even worse than those that we were dealing with in the past.
How do you conclude?
But we are seeing all the same things they are doing. Didn't you see what's his name? The guy who was a communication something for the president. He and his wife had an issue, and they were talking about so many houses. How do you do that? Back in the day, the JH Masons and things like that. No, yes, sir. They were for the nation. They had to fight something for the nation. But the young ones now, we actually say, oh, because Mumu, young ones, you actually said that you'll be looking out for the interest of the youth. No, what do we see them doing?
And so your conclusion is people not just say still are the corruption, the mindset.
It also has to do with the base. And I'm just saying, COVID-19, if they I'm not doubting that they can break it, but how are you going to do it?
But it's you seem to be there seems to be some mysticism about this. Is a very simple process. People vote based on their needs and their aspirations. They don't have to be locked into. Hey,
I think he's just saying they said they made it one. He's just saying we say, how are you going to do this?
How am I going to
break
at this year? How would you change it?
Maybe where your parliamentarians be at? Where your parliamentarians now? Okay.
Wait, me the national one not to hold them.
And I may make us say, now see what Doc to you first. I mean, Prof. Yeah, what representation in all the 16 regions, one more year, Juma. So, and they go in house to house, they go into constituency by constituency, until we're gaining ground. Until at the end of the day, with the youth coming together and knowing, say, listen, the time has come for us to go stake a youth. So say we truly believe that this time around, we're gonna have more youth come back into apathy, and it's gonna be reversed because people really want to take control of their destinies. If there are going to be more people coming into the voter pool now than before. Before, they didn't think there was a chance for them. Now they believe that this is an opportunity for them to take control of their destiny. So they're going to come vote because the message is going out. It's reaching people. The youth are getting more invigorated with the process. And
So
that's how it's going to
you are
turn
saying
the
that you are
numbers.
only going to present a message to them.
What did you say?
The third force is only going to present a message that we are going to do things differently from what these people are doing. You are coming from the same society. So what makes you different from this person? You have to convince me that, okay.
Yeah, okay. So the people of the past talk stuff. If you've gone back, Nuakuti, Dr. Baumia, and I said Akufo-Addo, and I said Mahama, the one who speeches now, they really never gave solutions to any of the problems in Ghana. They talk, and Ghanaians like eloquence. They like education. They like background. Sa watena bruchire da akwa we kra de ne papa no ye we da nti eno na ye de ye basis for leaning towards and I said being sympathetic to candidates. Say na manfo ni ate because women who say nkrofo na wo mo ba ye no won abedi sika nti nkrofo aye so numb to sa system no. Now so wo fa Mahama ana ofa Akufo-Addo ana ofa Baumia na wubisa na questions na wubisa meme questions now you're discerning ubehu say papa yi answer your may enye no na Baumia ana Akufo-Addo ana Mahama reman eye clean cut opa catch your sister fia no frɛ Mahama na Akufo-Addo ne Baumia brother Baumia mra ni show you so now moment bisa your questions mo pay na mo hwɛ sɛ ne yɛbɛ answer no. Inti another ama a new confidence will youth room say Kofi Granting are different. He's going to be able to help us to meet our aspirations. Or no ordinary or a next generation thinker. Or science-based, data-driven, and more importantly, human-centered, with a long-term national interest for the country. And that's what we want. None of these guys have been science-based, data-driven, human-centered with a long-term national interest. I'm the only one who is. How do you compare these guys to me?
No, I agree with you. But what I'm saying, you made a statement say, Mahama Kasa, Akufo-Addo Kasa, and Awusu Kasa. When Mahama speaks, he is speaking to a base. Okay. If Mahama says he is going to construct roads, the people in Upper East knows that. The people in Northern region know that. The people in the Volta region knows that. Whatever he says, he is speaking to a particular base.
Okay.
It's not that he's just making a statement.
Yeah,
he's not just making a statement. If Mama said he's going to construct roads, the people in the Volta region expect that since the Volta region is a base, he should be able to do something for them. So just the statement itself, right? Mm-hmm. The people receive it in a certain way. Mm-hmm. You are thinking that it's just a message, but it is more than a message. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
Prof, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Now, memory can say the same base now, Mahama, or pitch to know. New message is going to be more sympathetic because in Krofuna, they have an allegiance. What can I say? They don't have an allegiance to Kofi Granting. But master ma can watch in one being na wash one sitting in one. What who said Papa some more cane? Something sa Mahama ya yeti na semi because on to me every my. So when Hunyan who said now say what they politics now be the China. And it was some part then I met me.
And I make a say you are assuming that the voters should be rational, but our voters are not rational.
Yeah, they are not.
America said there's a new voter in town who is more rational than the voter you are referring to. And I totally agree with you, sir. There's going to be a certain amount of the voters what you're used to, sir, construct now, what can but I guess 100% of sir block now, what can say because circumstances will be as Manipa exchange positions on the way they think.
Prof, what is baby Kofi where he's coming from? Kofi is saying the voters not assassin. It is first we send any a toaba. Oh, I am Mikromini. Oh, I am a sorry. Oh, meaning I am Muslim and I'm a Christian. A change. It changes.
No,
So
okay.
people are not necessarily voting based on those things. Kofi points and it said, "Ni passes some because a common began a farmer here to go by 5 CDC. There is no way people will continue to vote the same a common influence or culture influence or religion influence vote in the That's
No,
why
the American say
the time for floating voters on.
no, the people have not changed. It is their voting behavior which has changed. Right?
Okay.
Right now, because in the
Whatever
past,
you
let's say
say.
from 1996 to 2000, they were not thinking about corruption. They were not thinking about welfare programs. They were not thinking about mismanagement of the economy. But
Yeah, Prof, we have one can't say 2000 elections. The people were thinking about those. That's what they used to overthrow Rollins.
what I'm saying, that is an explanatory variable to show their behavior.
Okay.
Right. It is, we are using that to explain it, but it does not mean that they, as people, in terms of the way they reason, has changed. It is, they are now considering certain things that, okay, mismanagement of the economy. So because the NPP has mismanaged the economy, I'm going to switch and vote for this particular party. That does not mean that the person's base has changed.
But it doesn't matter to me. All that matters is the vote, Doc.
No,
but also Patches said these things should matter to you because I think
it should matter to you.
Really voters, so you should be able to say, and you quite useless because once an America said that nobody can say Canada, Japan now it's even taking young men who from the young men who saw send this in MPP failure. And so they are willing to do something different. Because Monday, Amabai, she said the same thing. My friend and Aquadani, Diabocras and Omomoto and this in MPP Nyanya Koponi Ombedi. So, but then now he's saying, if you know these dynamics, then you know how to use them because they say, can I found here? Can you see MPP yao?
Yeah, but if you're an American, say, listen, you're a pitch to the same crowd of Ghanaians, 100% of Ghana for no. You're a pitch. We are hoping, say, young message, you preach to one, a better convincing. What you say? Inti, na memory person make catch that prof ne say. SAS segment no or referred to as a block. No, say because of Nipa, I am more savvy in their thinking and them own behavior, any expectation you know. Sa block no a more fluid now. Sinkano senaneti. Inti no. It will change, it will continue to change till the day of the election.
Okay.
Now, the probability of the change, will be predicated on young message I catch Ghana for any sending a would message need differ. Don't think say Mahama blocks over 40% a locked in 40%. No, and yes, and I person what you say. And I really say, maybe block I say 66% of youth memory pitch to one will be TMSM. Debbie, it's a fluid process all the way to the day of election. But what I believe they say, because messages, Yerish Chapin, day in, day out, not in Crawford, more discerning. No will be some more specific questions, into Nipa na will represent one as candidates they would have to live up to one game. And how the ever separates the boys from the men.
Okay.
And the voters are going to know who is going to be in a position to deliver to them so that they can meet their aspirations and from that, make a final decision on December 2024.
So that they will tell us how they vote. Do they vote based on party culture and I say religion and I say because they are proper kind of foundation which work if you want to say first no mutisa na say the meanwhile we have just like a year and a half to 2024. We have just a year and a half near through 2024. A year and a half near do we have time I bet me changing the mindset of people now? And the politicians over here campaign sorry. No ma kwa himfo ohini we endorse a na won when they crying for ya constitution no class mo munya politics and no munya do mo ache politics mu into kwadwantu I see you I'll be connecting with you very soon but I'll YouTuber Vim Lady online Smiley Finney or see in Singapore if party people are corrupt they can't even talk about it. That is why recently train scandal yi aba and once and pacho. I don't know if I understand you very well. Smiley, who YouTube or Vim Lady online, I'll do it by. Let me know if you that's exactly what you wanted to say. And as Yabonga no say Baomian and Anado have borrowed over $30 billion, but they are only talking about free SHS. Omo accounting for scanner akano. In fact, Kofi Krantis is scanning 77.5 and yet 30 billion pay. And Amos Kwache or see we need discipline. A disciplined leader like Ken. Or no bet me abway amo man to me anymore because a discipline here. And true story say sorry, now Singaporeans no, they were also corrupt. Our immediate past, but they had one leader who adopted zero tolerance for corruption. No one to me change here. No. So as much as I agree with Prof say citizens no in penny for no for when they want to change the system, no Ghana for no so because when we have a good leader and bet me what is necessary. Tony say, you guys should educate the citizens and stop always blaming politicians all the time. You Kimbano no say Ken is the man for the job. Say apa baby a Ghana one day. Ken and obet me aye jumano de ama Ghana for. And Raphael and Ketiano so US ni Europe ni Asia for they are developing because I him for be any ho. On he be any one. So I have for no a problem. I was that actually be an na you to me ekoka. Nketiaba. I see more American. I'll be reading your messages too. Nketia, Mama, good evening, Akwaba. Bragojo.
Sister Via.
Good evening.
Good evening, that is saying.
Adumarakwa. Argument here make which is whether Ghana for voters here to based on a tribe, religion, sorry, I call some I assume. And I say a trend on mine that channel. We a voter. Can you tell us who voted here on what basis did you vote? And I have NDC MPP 90.
Okay, so before me cause our no, maybe say me clarify normal kakrebi about for Prof any Kofi Krantin. So Prof, first of all, the Nigerian issue you are talking about, no. Peter Obi had a base. He had a base, so he was not an outlier. It is a Kofi Krantin or springing up. No. Peter Obi was in
PDP.
Oh, because kojo where you not to kojo Sambra be na yan connecting patcho link no OKFM page you know so betimi join the link no watch what you na ye voter no so let us know what you think about Ghana here you only Ghana nkoso a vote and I say tanya Kofi cancer systems na politicians and this NMP they failed to help us to correct a proper system into obi baby ana say ya to aso ane de na Patrick Asante me connect to very soon kojo.
Yes, so Peter Obi no, he had a base because Okojo in PDP. And yes, so PDP for Nibi. And also the Nigerians even voted on tribal basis because baby Peter Obi winning it was the Igbo side.
Okay.
Right? So he had a base. And they say he didn't have a base. He had a base. So now, say if Peter Obi could have changed the system and kept Tinubu and winning, because Tinubu core members, they still voted for Tinubu to win. So baby or taking big power from was the PDP. And it's the PDP and winning.
Absolutely, you're right. Yeah.
That is the first I want to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Prof, we can talk.
That means to a point and let's say
yeah, the person who related to the third force at Kofi Krantin air canon.
So advanced countries now they still vote on tribal basis, religious basis, and minimum. America, there's no way. Yes, America developed. There's no way a Green Party can win elections in America.
No way.
Even the swing states in Ukraine, it's either they are moving from Democrats to Republicans. But in Ukraine, the say, I ask if they are states in here, people move from there. And it's moving not affecting one party. So, and most of the time, the swing states, I know where's analysis where people are moving because they are a Juma Baho, and I say, economy easy, cheaper. Oh, that is one thing. Again, Osha, there was a conscious effort in America to get most of the immigrants to vote, right? The black population, that also did the trick for Democrats. Now, let me come to Ghana. Kofi Kwanti, I can bet you, say, if you're able to even get 2%, 2% of 2024, then it's a miracle. You know why?
I didn't know Kasa.
Yes. So 40% now MPP and NDC one, it's not going to change. A typical NDC MPP person on Tuaba on changing on Kotuaba no. And you say Oko vote for another or a third force coming. On who they floating voters, as my year say floating voters, no. The floating voter will either vote for MPP or NDC. Because as Ghanaians, you say Kofi Kwanti, tomorrow you cannot win. The only thing you can do is that you will take it to a second round. Second round, no, first and second in a battle. You the third force, no, unkobi. It has happened before. It has happened before.
Yeah, Rollins election, right?
Yeah, 2008, yeah.
Second round.
Yes.
2008, yeah, called second round.
Yeah, second round.
It has happened before. Third force is no mobile any now. They couldn't do anything. Again, what's it? People are changing. You'll be shocked. We are not changing. You'll be shocked. Yes, you'll be very shocked that we are not changing. Say, internet aba, any no. See, the needs of a lot of people, no. It's not really about say internet or whatever. No. And you can say all the fine things that you want to do for Ghanaians. By election, you drew Honoma. No, 100 cities, 200 cities now. On tomorrow.
And when I sometimes I am a camp or more did attempt to say, you know, I'm best so camera no more did attempt, but you do elections so I said your course was saying no 100 Ghana cities. Now I compromise it.
And also your elections, you know, it's also about it's people still feel say me tuma way like minimum and that is still working. Check most of the places that are swinging, no. It is not necessarily because if you're MPP or NDC or yeah, it comes with the personality, the person who is standing on that ticket. And it's not to say baby why you timing skirt and blouse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but you see the skirt and blouse concept is also enforcing the Kofi concept. People are using it. They are not for this go. People
but
also
they will not vote for a third force.
Because
they will not vote. They
Yeah.
will not vote for a third force. That is where the 40-40 is working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen,
they will not vote.
in my life, in my professional life, in my social life, I've always heard people are more a pessimistic view on things. There's always people are more brilliant analysis, but with a pessimistic outlook on things. And yet, naturally,
we are talking about
people.
The reality. Kofi, we are
Okay,
talking about the reality.
Please have the decency and listen to what I'm saying. You could come in and spew that, say, oh, so what do you want us to do? Ghana say no. The best we could do now is what we are doing. And there are people who are willing to put their lives on the line, come and fight for their country. And because people did exactly that. We are sitting in society. Media kind of said, yeah, thank you for your analysis, but no thank you, because I don't need the analysis. One more year at the point, one more person, one more fight it to at least within themselves, say, Ghana air suffer, Ghana air say, no, yes, so yeah, fight it, say, you very claim Ghana, no. These are the people I'm talking about, and they are with me, and I'm proud of them, and we're going to fight on. And really do because I feel, let me tell you this. Sanka noise no anka flat and anka NDC nim any MPP nim said anka they will not invest everything they invested to make sure say we are not being heard. So indeed that alone is an indication say there is a major concern say they know say we could upset them, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Indeed, you know, you can come with the analysis. It doesn't mean anything. And I make I say, past performance is not indicative of future
Okay.
results. No,
Okay.
thank you
Kojo mami na
for
ase na me
your
fa another
suggestion.
person. Who you Peter? Peter. Good evening. Peter, good evening. Emmanuel me ba ho. Peter. Peter ati anka. Peter, when do my microphone into kasa yente? Until mami fa Ima good evening.
Good evening, Sister Fia.
Aha, o to abani binti. O to abana was it based on say we NDC ni we MPP ni and now ususu ho. Say nipa we obey say ansa na what about how do you vote?
Me vote too on policies.
Okay.
The policies, but the Kofi Akan and the Dr. Swakano me jitum. But Kofi the me susu yagam susu ni say nka o start be a MP open call for because MPP ni NDC for our base ni nada. Into pe be a region be a utiminya strong MPs everywhere. I know na the third force on the baba. But say only one kwan now starting I spread your message, you know, because of
But
Ghana and yet crying Nikumasen kwan.
and I saw Bianca said,
So a tour bano. Ghana, you call Nkrasiana, a honor populations in the war. At home no so no.
Asa kofi na wo nyina mo na mo hu kofi na wo nyina oye ncheche wo.
and I may say, Nkrofopi Banomo Bema Womo prescription. They speak from a very narrowed perspective. Wouldn't in fact be about how we're running our campaign. Inti, what this your friend say arrogance about my advice. Now if you start to war wouldn't be a minia.
Oh, so I know so I catch me say, oh, my starty be say, and you say, me ma arrogant statement. When
Enya wo dia wo kana me kana as a general you say nkrofo pa hanom tem bia e ya tem bia obi feel say oh yeah ba be kana oba first of all no wo idea say wo dey ma advice say me fan start in free parliamentary level no any saying e based on the me
based
bisa
on
wo
Ghana says MPP ni NDC for 137. So na ekọ grounds ye campaign almost so omu base ebi ho kra na MP timinya more vote chain ne presidential candidate ebi ho so presidential candidate ninya more vote chain ne MP enti say MP ni wo say sia ye wo parliament wo na wo be 3 strong MPs wo ho na enka sam na base na start
okay
yeah and not that
okay inti na to say Ghana as a country, no, baby, Edua a feeling it, and a new analysis, no, baby, I say.
Me be deba Ghana, you blame politician too much. I was say do baby, yes, you blame individual.
Okay, inti minia if you pacho mamin kasem minia just by such statements, you know, tells me say we name the apostle. Because you can never blame the people. Leadership and setting guidelines for the people to change. Inti se nipa no enye na sedia because se leadership na nye ne juma am confine nipa no se onye de se so ye. Wo abrochire meboa.
Wo systematic. Me show ka systematic. System no nipa na wo ye leader ni yenya no. Nipa na ye wo ye leader ni yenya.
Minia.
Okay.
One thing. Minia. Leader na ye no ode no ho na ba ye se yentoma no obetumi a perform at a certain expectation. Enye voluntary. Voluntary and obeka say ye nipa ni enya no. Inti the people voted for somebody or obeba na obeba betoto nyoma na woma brabo ayeye and woma fairly. Inti it's a contract. Would to me perform here and for we be massa wobe babe inti you see enkrofopia about show super kasa. With all due respect, one won't see issues na say and one won't take the way the human being thinks and does things are a big Ghana for a problem. I have one more tiasie. Into obi aba oh na Kofi say what one more prescribing your maybe they don't even understand. No crazy. And so say it doesn't solve the problem. And then the partner what Ghana no and a problem. A leadership and a problem. Opio Beka say, oh na Ghana for no nenyo money me no no it's all right enough because we need your it's simple.
Would you do Ghana baby and I'm nenye? But we have to
but if you to about this from 2000, me cram the
30 years
from
and the public
and the party through was your 2 Obama, yan 2 Obama. It didn't because per se you got 100 Ghana, you got 200 Ghana near the 2 Obama. And the part of the Senate, Ghana say about where I'm going to me next 20 years, me share next 10 years. And the part of the saying. And
now say me parliamentarian. So
I think he's only being realistic. Say on the
no. I know. I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him. I'm just telling him say so ye minia no abani edin komo. So inti anya say ebuphobia ni maybe me catch and say this is where some of the problems that comes from because most people really do not understand the problems. So
yeah, because kasa keke no kwa ukọ grounds kasa keke no nya hwio kasa ne de enya hwe
okay
yeah
mama me na wate mama abami Ebra Peter good evening me sentry kojo dina so person responding to something that Kojo said. Peter, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Stevia.
Patrick, what is saying?
Me Medini Patrick.
Patrick, okay, Patrick. Mami chow. World boss. Any ama. I see you to me connecting more very soon. Patrick, kasa. Bye, Patrick.
Okay, Stevia. Me check ya ono panels ni na. Bese me contribute kakra na. Mr. Kofi. To be honest, I respect the decision, no, and then some of our canning no, a trust no, Sabi, and I know this if I can me say, on my way, no, a friend is saying tribalism, EDD, them. Ama me ya Santinia, me feel say, me also me tuma NPP, me I be near Sabi, me feel also me tuma NDC. A team ni feel also me tuma NPP, and you know say. So say nipa na be conscious of themselves say yempe NDC yempe NPP bi mu no. Say Kofi, what you are saying is very, very right. The people would want to come for you, but now what I'm seeing is it will take some time. It will take some time. Say your brainwashing yache. Oh my way no. You have I can honestly tell you say you have a very long way to go. I'll say. That is what I'm seeing. Me hey, with your policies and where you now candidate, perfect say. And something that can be very profound. If Kennedy is speaking your message, you are good. Provided say this is what we want. This is what we want. This is the Ghana we do. But chance no say nipano you bet me okay. We've been brainwashed for a very long time to know. Can we go away with NPP, NDC? Any problems they say as citizens.
Patrick, come and said Ghana, said the Kofi can share Singapore for baby or Dubai and Ghana boys in your show. Compare Juma away. Isn't it time I was a young voters and I'm not a provocateur. Citizens also can. Show boy, dear, a let your cuckoo, dear Nipana Bob, one was a one year, dear pie, be you.
And what I make you and any part say and conscious of almost situation no because we command 100 Ghana we command 50 cities of list na adwene yato adwene nti o say or to abanko nipa na woman 50 cities no how so that ben baby nyina bedru baby bedru o man tie hu so man na say NPP NDC you know my am o man almost say o man enti no again, you know, the youth, you know, will come to their senses and say, no, are there young forefathers? We don't want it again. Again, what are you putting in place? Because you have a very powerful message. But what are you putting in place to say, I'm mobilizing youth in and to be honest with you, say, you are doing a very good job. But that is it. And today they say you have a very long way to go. Say, step up with the ordinary Ghanaian no actually away and I say. You understand?
The next election 2024, they won't say third force be a bit me bibi. So they could kind 40%, no. Floating voters and quite these two parties. That's what you're also saying.
Sister Pia, anything under this sun is possible.
Thank you. Just
anything
that
under this sun is possible.
Patrick, I am happy. So,
yeah.
And this is how I want the youth to start. Say possibilities. In the midst of impossibilities, you know, possibility is crafted by desire.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
yes.
Ghana for a youth, and let me tell you something. I'm telling you, say, this is a fight of my life for the youth. Make a crowd, make me a year, youth, because you said, youth, muntie de mekano. 2024 it's going to be impossible to reclaim Ghana because at $98 billion as per IMF. Me play me call Shanghai newspaper told me now so will play no. IMF say Ghana they got $98 billion. IMF. Now, youth, the person they're making year because I get pissed. And the reason I get pissed and I say, you don't seem to realize that your mom life. Now, ball, you mom, as I said, my sorry, I'm more boy, yes, so more case coffee. The Obia case, parliamentarian. Jai, not yes, run a presidential. Na yen fire who the meta wechi. Na would be taking over. We want to open the way for the youth. Say youth, no more brilliance. I go around the world and I see the Ghana youth, how brilliant you are and how excellent you are in everything you do. What to one of our criminals see, I come wash na moba among the Kenyans as some Mutia de Mecano. Mubu on my metria woman, into me can't seven at Mamma, Mamma, Junior, man, sorry, no man cat, angry, and see a demu, no man, my jet on mine, Mona mobile blow. Mumba, hey, you for yet, Mumu age, I was Singapore, I was Dubai, I was Qatar, I was England, I was Germany, Monka Apraba, woman, airbo, I won't want to woman. What's the Hanumna? Mudi Yokogari, more bread to send me a midi Yokogari. I'll be beyond family. Most of my social media so that you may win here na moye. Muldachi and a year kono. Into most sorry, no one has our concert na moye no. Mukas are going Diana.
Okay, you go to the youth.
No,
World boss, but also microphone. Good evening. Mema Kwaba, just you made in Pachoka free.
Oh, because I feel Dallas, Texas.
Texas, okay. Pacho way. What minutes what to Abani Bida?
Oh, it will be one time per.
One time. Okay,
yes.
Now and okay, next say when you Ghana. And what you know, based on what now the two because that's now the issue.
Oh, it will based on policy, not because of maybe Mafia and I say my religion and I say Bibisa.
Who bet me I share with us the Ottoman and I know person share, so it's okay.
Oh, that time no, I'm saying to my NDC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what policy? What then I can't wow to my NDC?
Oh, that time ne Atamels no also ni constitutional review na oka ho asem na no na emami kotoma.
Okay. And did they say as Ghana 2024 in here to aba? What will happen?
Ometwama Mahama because me sure say MPP for they failed again. So I think I'll vote again based on failed promises na MPP for the other to Ghana for no so inti Mesatwama NDC for no.
Okay. Why wouldn't you consider a third force a possibility, Anna? And I said, Patrick can also honor what doing so called.
Yeah, a possibility, just that Minya identify that right candidate yet. And can Minya the right candidate now which my marketing and they are between me I consider to vote for a third force.
Okay. And the third force is there what Ghana, Kofi Krantia by Matthew Dikedi, LPG, Indum Party, CPP, PNC, and other parties. Who say any of them has marketed themselves now? Now, why won't you among Kakra?
No, the reason is that there are too many. They should merge and then become one third force. That one I can consider them.
Okay. Okay. What do you think? Do you think that Ghana to say they could be to call Singapore by enough a bubuno? Or can about where Singapore is and why Ghana is still stuck where we are no? I don't know. Yeah, more to NDC and MPP over the last 30 years. Ghana, Omoya no motewo. And Omo play game of chess. Where Bedika can we so Bedikaka. Do you think NDC and MPP can get us there?
They can get us there, but I think that your laws no somewhere. You need national agenda be driving the nation. That's the problem. Okay, well, that national agenda, independent of whoever is coming to drive the bus, that one I think will be heading towards the right direction. But see, any agenda, and I say, butcher scale this will be 2 an hour ball way so 2. That's what is happening. And we just have to accept that for some time until say what's our national policy. Apart from that, we'll just be heading towards the wrong direction every time.
I don't know why you are saying so. What you have to so more the Ghana butcher scale, but also accept you. Why don't you say what you have to so butcher scale? Is it not the perfect time for us to get rid of them?
Yeah, I know Misaka at the same time say the other small forces they should merge. So merge we now who say okay, they can take us to the promised land. I bet you consider but at this point, I say our hands are tied somehow.
Okay. Yo, Mami, that's the word boss.
And one more thing, I'm correcting is a topic, as a week change, from Mahama to NDC, MPP, potential,
Oh, so NDC, you are candidate, and they say now Mahama is leading. MPP, candidate, they don't have a candidate now.
But Mahama is killing third force in Ghana, Bibisa.
Okay, that's how you understand it. Okay, now editing going. That the intention is 2 big parties, no. So almost send your voting, almost campaign, almost strategy, and nothing I'm third force and nah. That's
but me feel who you are saying that Mahama is killing third force in Ghana.
Now Mahama and Kwadi on go away to kill third force.
Yeah, but interpretation, yeah.
Okay, that's your interpretation, yo, Mate. Mamina Wate. Hey, Ibrahim Richard, good evening.
Good evening, mommy. What you
saying?
I am out more.
Make I baby of Portugal.
Yes.
So what money be that? The area also there voting. Oh yeah, and was it based on say the world boss can to only there third force the better into your NDC MPP now. What they will say change in free. You also think that change between free wa Ghana?
Me just say. Say third force kwa emba NDC MPP see I woman no. Your mama also jina nchen. Ba umia also jina nchen. Because mo jwa ma ye no yehu emboa. Because system no mu use o Ghana no, omo no mu kum system no. Because we be to say kuma me mo ha say. Recycle company oma ofa nan containers I dey bolo gumu. Yentiaka e ka me ntwen say me receive pipe be na e ka ho na me tua. Aban system no oma system no yeduma. System me brother ba Kofi we ka no. I am quite because in painful no Omwana omukum system yan na yukum system no because they say fear say Ghana so many be bore yama na so wo system no o mama fa nkwa dey no pasa me wo na we system no nyame na me system wo aban no na we system nyame and so wo se bore kogu obi te bore kogu gata mu na e kochoku gata wo aban no wa ma system na aba because come me say no system no working road plan enya in Kosungu aban so or na service road minister also can fix it system
no now who feels the leader be bad or akukudra leader can face Ghana system no
that's it because your system
leader now can is it likely say leader be free NDC and MPP and not third force
free MPP and NDC because third force in the side there over babedin and you CI with me and you on your baby.
But Pitobi crowd nanu ya Pitobi ba na je to me shaky system ne kakra.
Mami third force in your no onu wa system mu ateo of party bi no pie ye ba me brother way on fi baby na oba onu ko fi bi na oba onu ko na oba but on fi system bi na oba dia woni keys bi system ma wo twa fi MPP no be independent wo to the information be fi why then epia banse
okay.
And so I mean, what me I did do system na chi. And system we no, that two system we no. I was saying your system on what kudro. Say what the recycle company no wa ba. Opa was on ma go find then. Contain small all if be a system record and say, so every Tuesday also kafa. One kafa. When me say enkoye ma. Because system in the chino what checking. Impera wa man contract no is a mbwana
me to ase to but that means say they okay say who ka say system no I will say em fama NDC ni MPP no so who say the NDC ni MPP tia onipa bi wo mu a owo sa akukuduro no obetimi aba fix that system no because I see the man why no be from abebo
you get ticket e ko fie e ko mananado asema ko ka chen no yaya mobo wa Ghana it is the castle or comedy again I'm saying papa not to say what mama bibi SEO because oba you know because two tian because me member don e de sum na me system we fi that system we are then aba because I tell say mama ni tinia den system ni tinia den and me man opportunity na that's why the so system ni tinia den because ba we make am mu mienu your system you be no so for
but obi was sound obi be radio bi won achi anu wa mute na ma na etumi ate ayi person bra Richard nkanya sa interrupt with bra Richard there no obi a we be radio bi ampacho mute na kame
system ni your system to say me o ana say police o ya ban no your system na na do no your system ono kasa yenda ibada yen so na iba sorry ente na na do ka jam say sika so na ko me now by $4 4 cities per $1. Now they make 12 cities. What's this? We are system, papa.
Okay.
You feel that you are a bad system. I was even touching baby.
Enti Bra Richard, why in the what NDC money MPP mo a obetimi abe fix this system me why?
I did be Ghana in we are seeing who ye. Say kasa about to so be a company. No dey ban just no. Abano to riense abana say I so be able to company na me matna jam so manage management mami na fa ni pa for ye aduma no sika bo to win na da baba mi CEO na me hu ma da to me da share say for running and so feri a board ni also me come nya gu nchen na me the new board is the ba and say board ni say yen pe obi we in this man MPP no me de me yanka kana Japan amra.
Okay.
Now so my new system no of people, but all the system in the back. The system not about no say about what Ghana. Na ya fa and for so about so.
Okay. And you prefer okay, yo Bra Richard, my mama now say na odie no say Kennedy Japan mra. Na Kennedy Japan e betimi na NDC ni MPP there.
Every mra.
Okay.
Because ba wo mia no so about na the same mafia system na omu ku echi say ya bia no omu arodu ba ye aduma no. Ba ebe Kennedy Japan ba or the honest system about buffer another system for if you be MPP na mu bio. I won't cut the system we want no. Anyone back. na be new system na ye system for fra apa say na say you go kwa say ya na you go kwa obi na papa obi na mama you pay adwuma mo the same system omo didi me minister to me twa kwan na odi kota ku ni fie e wodi gate na but to main street no so e ho kakra no wawie no wasi foot to kwan so ono okọ no where sister.
Okay. Barry Chad, mami no atena me fa unia unia ba ama good evening.
Yeah, sister Fia, me see me baba share Kofi Krantin crying. Kofi, I'm for you. The youth, we are behind you. If we don't decide to change the country, or mine, yes, you know. Me usa mambo for be braba so mo catch us so na third force into me. Me mentor ba ma MPP na NDC da. Inti say you decide pa say you pese say so man Ghana. Ni ye o man Ghana fee baby e what ni de no ko baby paswa. Then we all have to decide say Yamfa Boto show like we should be so upset and be ready to vote against the status quo. The status quo right now is MPP and not NDC. Two sides of the same coin. Where we near no our trainer we are, but it's like they're flipping us, they're joking with us. Unless say decided so we can't do this anymore, no, and we won't vote partisan. I am telling you, I think that this time a third force really has a chance to upset the election. Because people are tired. Mahama and chair. People remember, we're not forgetful like they think we are. We remember how bad things were. And this is your chance, Kofi. Throw everything you can at this. It might not happen this time. Me, I believe it will happen this time. We will upset the election this year. They will come and ask you for help. Stand your ground. Me say, so if you don't MPP and NDC, there's a waste of your vote. So I entreat all the youth to say, what we need to do right now, my and Toma MPP and not NDC. Yenye operation, let's waste our vote. And no. Let's call it because we can say to third party be a debion because say we got to vote actually. That is what we need to decide as the people, so that we can upset the status quo. What is going on? And boy, look at this country.
Floating water, so more to me swing elections. So now say NDC and MPP crying 50+1% no car. You've done your job.
Yeah, I'm on to election 10 times. We will upset 10 times. That is exactly what I want. It should be like that until things change. It's a bre. Ghana, Babra me breno. Which means I feel it. So those of us that are outside Ghana, it's not like it's easy for us like that. We have to work multiple jobs just so that family back home can be okay. It's not right. In Kaumani, we're nursing training. What's not for 3 years? Probably 3 years. He's forgotten everything he was taught. We never BBA 3 years.
So if you want to accident at hospital because 3 years.
3 years. 3 years. What is this? You school America. You see the education Ghana bebo. You baby ankoshe. And they are to the America. They are better in America. Yeah, boy, obi mine. So Kofi Krantin, me, I support you, and I know there are a lot of youth that support you. And this time, let's throw everything we can at this election. It will stick. This time we will upset this election, and they will understand. Say third force being so MPP and NDC will need shame. Those two parties have nothing for us. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know if you have anything to say that because I'm
listen. Let me just say this because if sometimes I'm so saddened because said some of the youth are so oblivious in the reality and the magnitude of the problem. Now, say, what will come to the realization of the problem? What will back to the realization of the problem? No, now you're too late.
Too late.
So, Kofi, Koye MP, and now Koye Sena Cheng 2028. There won't be a Ghana at 2028. We are at over 100% solvency. I mean, debt to GDP 100%. Yenka ye the income yenyan ebro your friending yenka ye the na bro income eba. So you need any agency and company and industry be absorb young domestic dependence, domestic market dependence. And 99% you produce it is a wobana obe catch remisi kofi. Tena hona ma NDC ni MPP enkwa maybe ni MPP ni NDC for ye. Wonga to nkrofo agu afia show use because when you say kofi grant river. Na what ba nsema wakanya said mutie na meka no.
Omo ya mambo for.
Mutie na meka no. Mutie na meka ni ye. Because wouldn't say hama what the bonsa so na de bia what the bosso na ye oyawa. Wouldn't nyansa wo betwe won sa fi ho. Won ka se wo de won sa kono wasa de abosu bio. Most of the people who come on this show no they're so ignorant of idea what they can wonim na ekoso. Me na meka kire mo. Mutie na meka no. Me boa go and look at Ghana for your balance sheet. Now how the NDC and MPP have performed in the last 32 years. Now I said, na meka no enye based on fact na. Until you better hope to say na meka no ampa. Na wa beboa.
Okay. Final statement. Final statement. Your final statement. Kufo no ka say hwe obotom na fato aba meboa. Ghana for ye hwe sitnim. Ye nhwe sitnim mo asetna yetim sisi awo. Esgasha omoje ene nkwase alos omo hwe. Instead of doing what is needful no omo ye ne hia. So bottom shows was sitting. Look at your situation. Nafatuaba. So was sitting not change MPP ni NDC. They have nothing for us. Kofi Kwanti Yetawechi. God bless you.
Amen.
Mamina Mati baby. O si Kofi Kwanti Yetawechi. Brake. Good evening. Minimum Kasa for UK.
Yeah. Steph, I'm a chow.
Yeah. Joseph. Adam.
Yeah. I'm the Metia program now. Na more can be say Ghana no tribes. Stay if you tribes live in UK Accra UK yeah we have it here. Mami sure even say labor kofa obi a free worlds any leader say or they call a year election they will never vote for that person. Ekromi ewo baby anti mama yenka say ye the tribes na tribe but even UK is still here because mobeka ya ye kofa by Gordon Brown. Gordon Brown that time no na labor ewo base no by now say Gordon Brown Gordon Brown be leader no. Ekrobi they will tell you why I'm not going to vote for that fucking Scottish. Look at this. Ghana so we catch us we free ansunya de beto amano. And that thing there tribes there it's not going to change in Ghana. Ebesisa kraka krabi na ebe free but nya de ebesisa.
Yeah, but can't we vote? Are you saying say in to mean to about on issues and because we
making this point. Ekromian you talk about based on your policies. So I say Ekromian say you talk about policies. But say ukofa nipa no say nipa no world of Scotland na edin say nipa no mbeto abama no.
And it's the same for Indian Prime Minister. What do you say?
No, Indian, look, only mistakes I am Indian in Yanto Abama, no. Indian in Yanto Abba, Meba, Mamicho, Indian in Yanto Abama, no. Yanto Abama, Indian, Meba, to Abama consecutive, and a consecutive is no more 5 years. So I said, 1 more 5 years to govern. And after 5 years, national control balance Indian in a war. And you better say, you better try Bama and I see and try Bama. I don't know about timid a measure.
Okay.
I don't know about timid a measure. Indian in the Antwabama. Will be over say, and I Atwabama Indian in Unipani wrong.
That to justify the young question to a banner on tribal lines.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but not Prof. More Kasana Mitie. It seems I no African kwana sadia ne wo. But in African kwana e wo baby me point no e wo baby and two me say me to aba me to ama NPP because I have hope for them. Look, ye balance ye bekasa e wom say niema de nkoye wo baby o. Ye balance ye bekasa it seems e wom say niema NPP ase even anya brofo ye beba betra ye beka ne kase na bema Ghana e develop. Anya brofo kase na bema Ghana e develop. Stefia, ye ni painful be bra mo aba. We need strong men. Rollins, not a strong man. The obey military baby bias Rollins, ye education our Ghana. Rollins never say no. Rollins has said Ghana education.
Okay,
Rollins,
a policy as I'm now can because now you are using.
I'm telling you now, Rollins, JSSR or the buyer no. A sign Yama be bro Ghana. I'm part of it because we
Mammy, no, I say,
Mammy, for me point, Nancy. Mammy, we have a point.
Obano to up our attention, to no one attention, Kaka Pacho.
Mammy, for me point, Nancy. Yeah, but trauma, me best MPP because Ghana, no, you hear one party, obesity for some time, or bet me. Aye or mine ye, and this year, sound say, way by 8 years, way by 8 years. MPP in Kwane bet me aye. Yen I him say, Niama say, but Niamana say no, we don't put the blame on the government. Yen I him dear, Akoso Riase, Niama Koso Riase no, effective BBR. And Tiana trust Emma Abino sis no one manner, they can do it. Mahama and to me, only ideas are Mahama bet me aye BBR. Mahama, he is corrupt. Or transfers or some another corrupt. Then Ghana we are doing. Ghana we are.
Mammy, no, I say, open the Mama, good evening, Aquaba.
Good evening, Madam.
Pacho Casa Free, Matthew.
Because free Charlotte, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. Yes, also what you know this election thing, whether we can bring a bona fide third force somewhere be save Ghana. And now you think that there's a solution or NDC and MPP still?
I think so we can bring a third force party. But a big Juma den. And it say Obi to ama MPP and I say NDC or to ama the Franklin ni no ne team on your movie Juma. I think say a normal Ghanaian who could fear or who could fin the pay. Inti no say or so to ama could fear. Now you answer and Kofi Krameto ne call for no money of my am. And I say to Manwa or won't call for not be because I can't remember Kofindum, Quesindum issue nearby as a third force party. The issue that most Ghanaians had was that indum kwana or member no be juma. Ye to man crowd go bit me up for me government on your my juma. Into me suggesting say going forward say a bare possible ne Kofi bit me a church painful and say in Kofu a dilichi as a nyame boane a to man on your mobile juma. I think say that could also bring people on board. Because I think that many Ghanaians, like I said, third force party into member. The reason being that, as a person, penny who know, you who touch chief for no. And so to make sure mobile and also bebwa, near whom, and then on spell out the policies near a long term go, only who are deporting or bar or bay near to me. I think they're not so bebwa.
I think you have a point, Pa. I hope you are jotting down there. You know, see, spell it out. Let us see the people behind you. No, be on say because Ghana for the pesa. No, so on Kwana on a mobile say, see, obi ni more fra or akwabi. What I say, Ghana there. Obana we share chow not any osha osheti. Ghana for class will be as you two don't. So the simple. That's when Ghanaians take advantage of it. So say, let everybody know team on your monam. Where your economist, where your trade person, where you say.
And finally, Pesemi say, is it when the plant who say he will be bringing out the professionals from either NPP or NDC to form his government and because I also believe say there are professionals and good people that have the heart of Ghana. are there in the various NDC and MPP. Almost they want to give out and work. But because of more alienated to individual parties, it's difficult for them to also come up. It's my question to him, is he also open to fall on these other elite professionals here or either parties to bring them on board to also to forge Ghana ahead?
Okay, yo. Brother, you mama now ask no question. Could you any brief because your time that's all. Sorry, brother, Jerry me bam.
We'll be working with Obia Obe follow in line, not be compliant with your policies, and we'll work with them.
Okay. And I know say let them see your team, no. God's will tell them say our radio stations across the regions. Or no pay any base, but no crowd when we need one seat in a parliament. You must say NDC and MPP didn't get where they are today on a silver platter. Kofi Granting go high, why? Na sa the sky is the limit. Kaka sa and NDC and MPP so mo de ekọ yo mo du kodru honum. That's the point he is also making. Charles say when did President Kwame Nkrumah become a parliamentarian? So to me the president mani ye. Tigana for nyans ye de aboke shira to nkofo apempem and we want to use that as a limit to get a good leader obeboa Ghana magana ye. And Nana Poku Bano sister, if you are Kofi Granting can't win 2024 election because Ghanaian voters are glued to NDC and MPP. It will take ages for the voters to change their mind. You and then we are got social media and Kosun Kodiatem. Now to the be a journalist where tea baby can amudi aba so na mo be diatem. So if they are glued there, if you are glued, problem no consequences bad of your voter. Be ready to take it. Citizen Kwame educators or say blaming politicians and leadership in Ghana is not about fostering negativity, but it's about demanding governance, transparency, accountability, leading to a more prosperous and equitable society for all citizens. Brajari, mama, good evening. Me and Makoni Abema Samuel. Brajari, mamintie wo sa issue we ho.
Yo, feel good evening. You chat here for you now. Me Kasa New York.
New York, good.
Yeah. Kofi Granting make some critical points here. In some points, I agree with him, but then he has a lot of work to do. Ghana Chrono, I would say, Yachichi Chrono to the extent say, to get people to convince people to actually believe what you're saying, it's a whole lot of work. Niau can 100% true, but then how are you going to seal their mind to what you believe? And only a problem, because every time all they know is MPP, all they know is NDC. To come out with another third, fourth party, a good idea, but then it will take you a long time, brother. I'm telling you. The only thing I say, Sister Bibe Kasa, and I'm Ama. She also make a very good point. The analyst say, let's upset them. Very good. But then again, by the end of the day, remember, after all that upset that you give to these parties, they will still find a way to come to power, no matter what you do. It won't go nowhere. What I would suggest to Kofi Granting before I will come to my main with your idea, because earlier on, now Obi Kase, somebody have picked up your message, which is Kennedy at Japan. Emma Okra make a comment say, very fantastic comment. I said, yes, that's good. So we better a message now, or the Bay Ghana year. This is what we are looking for. And I got goosebumps when you said that. That is very powerful answer to that person. And in what I'm suggesting is with your idea, knowledge, all the skills you have, for now that you don't have the men to follow you to, get to your destination, why don't you team up? Find a way to team up with Kennedy Japan. Bind with him. Now, Katya said, Mahu said, you carry my message around, across, and this is what I believe. Because of this, what you're doing, I would love to join your campaign. Now, I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Okay. One thing I think your schoolmates crowd at this other until your schoolmates into what for brown make point also answer my call because my time last one.
Yo, I've met Kofi several times, but he don't remember me. But later, I met him. My point is, if you are baby a Ghana, do say, to my understanding, I've lived in America for over 25 years. Yahunia bebre. Ghana, idea you hear say right now, we need a radical leader. And that radical leader, no, I don't see it in none of the aspirant than Kennedy at Japan.
Okay.
And Crawford Kennedy Japan Kumahano, he has a temperament problem. But if you are baby a Ghana, do you say they are trained to Chronodia? We have a long way to go. We need somebody who can. That not make any comment or say no, even the chief of staff, one strike, you are gone. And this Ghana, yeah, or say one strike, you are gone. And this is the type of leader we need in Ghana. If you ever try it, almost system, you clock in and clock out. Me know me himself, if you are Ghana minister, na Juma may saw report by 8 o'clock and 8:30. Or trafia, Bebo Levy, Obeko not to mutu asi, did not be a synonym. Obedu a Juma 1 o'clock. Or call officer about 3 o'clock, no funny car keys or coffee. He's done with the job. At the end of the day, he's still going to collect his salary. Yeah, take up recruit and free so. And these are some of the things that can Japan believe in it. And the Amami type of panic, it's not like that. I hate any one of them. And Kofi made that point.
Okay.
Your system, no, system, no, who made that system? The system will come from the top. And we need some tough guy. Or bet some Kofi are very tough. I believe if he can emerge with Canada, Japan, Ghana will go somewhere. If you are,
okay,
I think that for now, there, Canada, Japan, I'll vote all in for him because the principle, the vision, any idea of Oma Ghana, no, it's the same thing like what Kofi Kranje is saying. It's Kofi, where they are, think about it. Now, brown board, now, join can't team no near any Ghana because we need men like you.
I think Ken cry only the classmates into approaching that other crowns and I can bell on.
I am a classmate to Ken you me senior on or head why school.
Next week Monday. Next week Monday, one part.
Mammy can't some kid to be just one point.
Not so, Mammy for the academy. 10 o'clock, Mr. That's what me. Why? You made us baby. Brass and me, Mammy Joe.
Hello, Stefia, Michia at your phone.
Obiajo so.
Where they one of the youths in but me UK because I'm from UK. I've been in UK over 15 years and I do business in Ghana as well. And I think there's a possibility say Ghana Ibenya third fourth one day. But the problem we have in Ghana at the moment, to become as a third force, I think I don't know my uncle in terms of the capacity concerning finances in this because Ghana politics is very expensive. The downfall of Ghana now is all about politicians now more people who sponsor them. Because when they come to power, they have to pay them off. And the same people no more contract, no more discount. Find abandon to Minka. Yeah, they are be example. Before I could banana what chain pa or ton, Papa Moja Padia, the net more UK money other ayina. Nimia, why finance minister was see I can answer me. Os or buano. But we share a Juma or year, any Yama or ya, and call you, but due to some certain that on Timin Sakano. Eti, me my advice, my uncle, they say no. Said, yeah, me a down Quebec as I see a concerning Canada Pono. One didn't put your together. Because already Canada Pono was set record or Ghana. Or workers more than 7,000. And I yes, still no, the man is still creating jobs for people. Eti, and ya obi to say, me uncle or Mr. Kofi, not only Canada Pono. Bako ni other people so better energy na Canada Pono own friend people mu me that to me they be some can say own friend people mu because MPP no this government no more so they are ready say whatever they have to do to bring anybody they will take them to opposition. They don't care because they done a lot of things they want somebody who can come and cover their back, but they know Canada Pono when Canada Pono become as a flag bearer obey expose big time. All of them are working against him. But to me, no dear, my advice I can say, Mr. Kofi, Mesro, also in Japan, Munko, Yen Tamochi, because me recent name for Ghana, my holidays, me Marco school, my holidays, and Messa returning in August. Yeah, want that gonna campaign market. Uno beer Cassa, as one can say MPP for the Japan, but the Yamatuaba. Most of MPP for me no money and almost a month to a bad say, or my fucking Japan, the month to aba. Me to Marco 4 times, me to Marco 4 twice. Eba Ghana betuaba. But I knew a government to them and to Aba Momoda. And that's a master meeting me, I drink a meeting channel.
Okay, yo. But I mean, now I see baby no I drink also they abai wrap it up because your time that's on. Ali me who but Ali say next week na me do ebe kwa kwashana Ali who can say free. Who can say free?
Yeah, because I'm free New York.
New York. Okay, Ali kasa yeah but tell mommy na me we time to me police but
Yo medawasi power kwanya odi amami. I'm say your brother Bakuka Simbi was Ghana here radical leader. Menene ya 100%. But that radical leader na ye here and Canada Japan. Canada Japan one same fact as over president of Ghana. Canada Japan you will be a said we me back down to lower level for any like people nipa sabi or mo share any credibility bi anu apano no look at radical leader what mean citing deal with the picture better like a whole television so am I at the short time that is mean kum nipa
up. What do you say while we are wrapping up no? Prof, does this give you callers near some does it give you an indication of maybe the future of Ghana politics? And these are voters. Voters. What does it tell you?
Who say Uche Omokasa Baku say radical leader. Democracy is not about radical leader, it's about the people. Yeah, situation last I will interview me. Mikachi will say ours is what you call electoral democracy. Right? When we say democracy, we are talking about the people who actually informs the government to make certain policies on their behalf. But what we have, the policies are coming from the government and it's for the government. So what they are saying is only like what they call a benevolent dictator. And that is not democracy.
Okay.
Democracy doesn't work that way. Okay. Democracy is the people, it should be about the people. And for the past 30 years, it has not been about the people because the democracy was given to us. Okay. We did not fight for democracy. So our people still do not understand their rights and civil liberties under the democracy that we are experiencing now. All that we are doing right now is what we call electoral democracy. Electoral democracy. Now, almost 2024 elections, right? If you look at what happened in 2012 and what happened in 2024, what is going to happen in 2020 or what happened in 2020, there is some sort of similarities between what happened in 2012 and what happened in 2020. And that is going to determine who is going to win the election for 2024. And this MPP4, they have been very, very smart. So in 2020, in 2012, Afarijan went into the box. And
for election
exactly. The people became educated about certain things. Apart from voting, they learned so many things. That this and that and that things that they didn't know before. The people had what they call democratic learning. Apart from voting, they learned certain things about the process. Pink sheet, this, serial numbers. The people were able to learn these things. And the MPP was able to learn from that. Yeah, the same thing. The NDC also has learned from what happened in 2020, right? And they are now doing realignment.
Okay.
So if you observe 2012 and 2020, it will give you an idea about who is going to win the 2024 elections.
Okay, yo. Prof, mami now I say, Kofi Kranti me ba Ali asan baby Ali wo wan ma ne te ko ye nti we point na
I take away. Says ohwe the Yeah, honorable, my man honorable Preocupe, Kofi Granting, ni policies na the two hona. And only the youth know, yeah, here. Obi to say me say, okay, say Canada, Japan, be dimmy so. Not just say Ghana, your presidency, ya to tonasi. Because he doesn't have that capabilities. Ne lifestyle no doesn't talk well. So nti sɛ woka sɛ yɛmto abakora ma obi saa na sɛbisɛbi o na sɛ ghana for still no sɛneɛ kɔfi kranten ka no yɛadwen mu no sɛbisɛbi o mesrɛ me ka ɛkuro kakra wɔ yɛadwen mu na yɛ sɛ yɛnwe nkɔ akyiri saa waho nti ɔno no sei no so far sɛ mimi compare the two parties a adi ghana so no deɛ ɛm sɛ so far mimi obi a mimi metom aba meswenge mehwɛ policies woka wo nsɛm a ɛtɔ ma so mu a na mato ama wo. But so far, me to abano party I was disappointed me big time. Nanado abai wa disappointed me big time. Sebi obi kasa no was in ya wa broche no. Yeah sebi o Mr. Granting on him say New York on him say ite omo na omo ye pioneers kra wa ha. So me ba anche now so me can't ye me hu wa ha no man. I just say American is well built, but I'm building precope. Sabi youth adwene no a sɛ na yɛde sɛ ayɛ no yɛn nyinaa yɛfiri America yɛfiri Ghana ba ha no all because mehwɛ m'anim a mehu sɛ Ghana doesn't have a future so nti ma yɛntɛm amfiri mu a me mma ne m'abusua pɛprɛ ɔho ɛna ɛde me baeɛ ɛnyɛ saa nti no mesusu sɛ ɔyɛ ka no sɛbi nokorɛ deɛ ɛyɛ baako pɛ sɛ mehwɛ ground na ntimu sɛ asɛ Mahama or winning grounds me hwɛ via me monitor nema bebra Mahama winning grounds no more but the meka kyerɛ me bra Kofi ni say ma on man aba mu because let us look at what the coming amino the nyame eyi no ma ya fine but nyame ayi ama yɛn so a yɛn hwɛ deɛ ɔba no ɔba bɛyɛ wotumi yɛ ni yɛ a ɔno ɔbɛkɔ ɔkɔ so a grounds no bɛyɛ easy ama ɛyɛ Kofi Granting sɛ de bɛyɛ ɔbɛ taking over adwuma kɔ ɔbɛyɛ no ɔmbrɛ pii sɛ ɛnɛ yi sɛ ɔfa ne na ɔbɛbrɛ paa
Canada, Japan, they were taking it out on there. He cannot do anything.
One there, what Canada, Japan, ni pa umia. Emi ani Ukraine is a Ghana for ye mistake. If the MPP for cry yes, I'm mistaken. I just say, mu Ghana for not just a young kasan ye yare. Seriously, young kind of crunch. I'm talking from my heart. Seriously. Serious experience. I mean, because me obi a or share or obi a share program will be enemy. Kumasi and I'm free.
And I'm free.
Yes, matuma ba ama MPP, matuma ba ama NDC. Me follow policy. So you know, me need some more Canada. Me 100%. I mean, me genitum 100%. But the empire ya born is a yankopon be my or no so nipa ne be brave. Na ya timi transform or man. Said e be ya yentri man so omombre. Na omo Ghana, be feel proud say they are also Ghanaians. Yeah.
Hey, Ali Mamina say Ali send o connect here with New York in fan our cat free. Bronze and our queens and I say
Let's say I'm Harlem na no ka say.
Harlem, yeah, that's why. That's a Ali no from Harlem. Kofi, any final comments now? Your time no or just one.
Yeah, that's it. Youth, mona me mo ka say nti pese mu tie ni. Me run say me per favor. Se Kofi wan ko de si term 2028 na ko. Eyi nye edru so contest na me run. We are here for a purpose. Now, realize purpose. No, this is your destiny. This is your last chance. Whether you like it or not, the signs are on the wall. What do I say? Yeah, make 2024. We are doomed. Yena an endangered species. Moma MPP and NDC for nadamo. Emma and high crofo megu system num in changing narratives. Mama margin no times a ye woman. No who say more counterparts in the West and in the East. No, what a year near 10 times bigger. Where it demand 10 times near they are being given life and a pathways for human excellence. Then Namurinya. More man for our bruchi Ghana 4 year youth and one could do a bruchi in define more life because one one aspirations and one future assessor, one could do a bridge. Mo what the last chance say young correct this idea. Mo mama can chile mo say no. We are say assessor. Visas are what the man. Mo could American visa. Say who could American visa? It may take more than 2 years and sign when your appointment. Baby, I am locked up. Yen to me nkwa retribute Ghana nane yen last stop. Ya nye ni ye na mukovu tuma NDC ni MPP because we are shallow minded. Now through protocol inti when you be inti 1 minute wunua no ho a yereba bebre wo protocol no so emfa unko verify because systems na a collapse wo krum ha. There is no way ya wo betumi afisa system ni. Inti mereka kire mo say this is not a choice. You don't have a choice to say who could vote to am NDC and MPP. Muntie na mekani ma wadwene ne mumwe na hunyansa ne hu say when vote to am obi obetumi eso manum eno na me ma sacrifice me ho ma renounce me citizenship mama me business is ekọ no ma betena krom ma eja me nyene me ma ko say you are worth it inti na ma ba krom ha. If you don't take advantage of me,
business because what
me say, Maba because of more you're worth it. Because me who more counterparts our west and east, no life I will lead. Eye my reho into I want to give you a chance. Don't blow it for your life.
Okay.
Monko your website so coffeecranting.com. Monko contribute. Money scan one fan support. Grassroots no. Na muntini ya juman. Wati. Na munya is obi a opese me say wo pese wo face me na me kanyansa semchiro na wadwere mu bua koye website so na set appointment na me no won kasa. Don't make the mistake that say obi listen if you am me fayin end
time na so coffee time na so
tie 1 second pe emua kura no mpono say one leader underperforming and I will show weakness. Leaders now are deselected from the herd. And more. Because se one a weakened leader and fee group numa or expose the group no for attacks. Someone is and more. It is a we more no leader show weakness and no Felipe would ho because they or expose the rest of the group. Onyankopon amayen adwene judgment say yemfa make decisions not same process no one ya phone say leaders no were underperformer yebe go through a process ni yebe deselect one na mum yenkum won adwene no de amayen no ye use we no na ya manipulate adwene ne say near what weakest in yen head no mum no yere fa woni ye de won adi anim na won lead yen wunim nyansa come on
yo na wati enti Kofi mo website na wo ho no www.coffeecranting.com new vision movement or say new vision omodeba enti Steph abro no ma na wo cho no I'm not seeing your name very well. So the same thing now can I say ma yenye bold ni choose another option other than the known NDC ni MPP na ni nyina no emfa yenko bebia no Kofi mame na wate bebia busiafo Kofi okwe wo University Connecticut ene ene omu mienu nyina ene omu adwuma kwadentwe me dase bebre kwadentwe stay with us ene ade yadamu na mwase Adebayo, thank you so much and we join in na you the saying William citizen Kwame and say me who citizen but I see you today thank you so much Mr. Tufone wo for Steven yadamu nyina mwase wo fire on High Life Radio for Kings Jersey Radio and Migachu FM kukrentumi na mo wone Kings Jersey Radio munyina yedamase se mo join Adafopa Media wo France yedamase and Anaspa Radio Kuku Spencer ni team your friend Vim Lady Afiapoka Monday ye another Monday patroni make a date because Monday no ye be check road wow road in ye bia dey tra video craft send me wo Facebook crack ahead of time Rose ye be check Rose MPP government so my ye no Rose no we Rose NDC government so my ye no Rose no we check every area bia Yeah, monitor all the roads. Yeah, but monitor every corner, every area. Entna Ghana na. They be a bubble sia. As you baby abosianeko want to find out where the roads are. Yakupon ya aduma ebeshi another time. Nana poku we du paku. Yakupon shall be also good program. Thank you so much. Charles Sapon, I see you. Thank you. Michael Apia, I see you too. Thank you. I see Kofi Kwantina. Ebeye Jumama Ghana. Dynam. Dine hand. Amwa. Mr. Amwa. Ode mami kana amwa. I'm saying dine hand na why ni sambwa. Me da si baby. See, thank you. Incoming president or the Kofi Kwantina. And no. Said, I see you. Said Banda. Yakupon ya aduma next week. Yebeshia. Now, mommy leave you with the video that I okay, bueno, because I know Dr. Baumia there, but I said, Kofi Kwantina in Singapore, ni because Kasai or Kasai, let people dream. Ne dreamy, and then you dreamy about what? Ghana, you dreamy about you be dreamy, sir. Possibilities no way. Come there. Challenge easy, sir. You dreamy, you be dreamy, saying.
Hello, I'm for Kofi Kwantina. Mene Andrews, my personal guide. Odumia ko Singapore he na wa kyerɛ me enwoma ɛwɔ Singapore ha ɛsɛ sɛ yɛte aseɛ baabi odumia ne nam for the last 3 hours no sɛdeɛ enwoma esi kɔ ɛfa ɛwɔ Singapore yɛte Singapore and so this is on a personal level, personal perspective, or you're a certified tour guide and na me high na say on farming around one kyerɛ me said the Singapore for Ankasa level. Inti maybe bisa na ono other perspective. Andres, I really want to thank you from all the people in Ghana. We thank you. But I really wanted to ask you if you had to give one advice to maybe the leadership of Ghana, of a country, to build a model city, a model country like Singapore that takes care of its people, that brings value to their people, what would be the lesson be? What would be the advice? One or two things that you would say should be that which the government or the leadership needs to focus on. What will it be?
Very good.
Now, I think you need to. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so,
I wish.
No,
yeah.
leave the.
Okay. I wish that whatever or whoever government allow us to dream. Don't stop our dream. All right. Please allow us to dream. Create a platform for us to chase after our dream. And then the other thing is that's very important coming from a government point of view is that you have to listen to understand us.
So and the government has to listen to the people.
Correct, yes. And I always believe that do it from the heart. And trust me.
The people or the government?
The government, all right? And also, we need the people and the government to do a heart-to-heart communications. And trust me, when all these things come together, it's going to be a happy ending. This is exactly what happened to my lovely country, Singapore.
Thank you very much. Mind you, onim nipa meye, onim dia meye. Nti we onim bibia we from say